The Astros hold a 9-4 record over the Texas Rangers this season. They need just one more win to secure the Silver Boot Trophy. They haven't won this since 2006. That was 8 seasons ago. You know you want a closer look. I'll let you have one. Brett Oberholzer and the Astros try to take it tonight, and it starts right now.
Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, CSN Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight is Game 2 of a 4-game set between the Astros and their state rivals, the Texas Rangers. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown, Alan Ashby, and in a moment, Julia Morales will join us. The Astros need one more win to keep that silver boot in their possession. They've lost 7 of those in a row, and things are looking good for them when they play the Rangers this year, Ash.
Yeah, a nice time to be able to get this thing turned around. The Astros obviously making vast improvements this year from last year.
And certainly they got a big boost last night from their catcher, Jason Castro, who hit the grand slam, providing all of their runs.
It was really a one-swing night for the Astros. It was the only extra base hit of the night the Astros had. Second career grand slam for Jason Castro. Obviously, this home run coming at an ideal time brought the Astros back from deficit and a lead they would hold on to throughout the evening. Jason Castro, hero on the field and in the dugout.
Now we turn to tonight's starting pitcher, Brett Oberholzer, who's done well against the Rangers in his career. Scott Baker will oppose him. Obi's put together a nice run since the All-Star break.
Despite going 0-2 lifetime against the Rangers, he has pitched well against them. But since the All-Star break, the numbers are very good. 7 starts, just 2-2. Not a whole lot of run support. A nice 3.28 ERA. And though that ERA may not seem spectacular compared against what the Astros have done and what the league has done for that matter this year, good numbers for Obi. In fact, he has been almost identical with these numbers in the month of August. He has consistently pitched well. His start at Cleveland against the Indians, they piled up 10 hits against him, but it was still a solid start, and that's what he has been providing time and time again.
Coming up next here at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Chris Carter continues to bash. The Astros are second in the American League in long balls. Julia Morales has that next.
Astros are just one win away from taking the silver boot from the Texas Rangers. We welcome you in on this Friday night. The Astros coming off a win yesterday. Jason Castro, the hero, with his second career grand slam to put the Astros on top. A big home run. That's the team's 5th grand slam this season. They've hit some big ones. No stranger to the home runs, though, if you watch this team all season long. And some meaningful ones here lately, too, including on that recent road trip the Astros took. It was 11 days, 10 games, but some big bombs by guys like Jose Altuve, who came through with his first career grand slam. That helped the Astros tie up a series with the Boston Red Sox. And then in New York, Chris Carter hit his 30th home run that put him one more than the 29 home run total he had the season before. Carter's continued to do it. And there it is, Jason Castro's big grand slam from last night to put the Astros on top 4-2 and eventually take the win from the Rangers. Astros are second in the majors in home runs since July 1st with 61. That's just behind Baltimore. They have 70, and the Astros are second in a home run in the American League for the season. Think about the powerful offenses out there in the major leagues. And they keep up this pace without guys like George Springer, who hasn't yet returned from injury. And you see the records there, 46 and 36 when hitting home runs. And Bo Porter has mentioned several times he doesn't like to live or die with the long ball, but this team will take wins whenever they can get them, and they hope to continue that here today against the Texas Rangers. Don't go anywhere. Brett Oberholzer is on the mound as they try to take that silver boot from the Rangers. Jason Castro hopes to continue to do what he's been doing after a great night. We have first pitch and lineups coming up next.
To you by Jack in the Box. Try Jack's Spicy Chicken Club Combo for just $4.99 plus tax. And by AT&T Uverse TV. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT. Mobilizing your world. The roof is closed tonight. We've had rain in the Houston area. There could well be more, as you see from those darkening clouds out in the distance. But, of course, it will not deter these two teams from taking up the latest issue in the battle for the silver boot. The Astros are 9-4 against Texas this season. They have won 8 of their last 9 games from the Rangers, and a win tonight gives them their first silver boot since the 2006 season. The Astros 2-2 on this homestand. Last night they won their 57th game of the season. That's the most wins they've had in a season since 2010, and they have 27 games to go. So as the Rangers come up against Brett Oberholzer, Bo Porter had to answer questions today, and you've heard about that all afternoon on the pregame show. And he was not getting into that topic of a report of problems between him and general manager Jeff Luhnow. Jeff also not discussing that report from Ken Rosenthal of Fox Sports today. And it's going to be a lineup card that we will see very shortly for Ron Washington, beginning with Daniel Robertson in center field. Elvis Andrus is the DH. Alex Rios is in right field. He missed last night's game with a slight problem. Adrian Beltre is the third baseman. Brian Ruah will be making his major league debut, and he has just been called up from the minor leagues to play first base. He is the 59th player used by the Rangers this season. That ties a major league record. The shortstop is Adam Rosales. It's Tomas Telis at catcher tonight. Rougned Odor at second base, and Michael Choice is the left fielder.
On the mound for the Astros, 25-year-old left-hander Brett Oberholzer. 19 starts on the year. He's just 4-9. Hasn't gotten a lot of run support. ERA at 4.01 and lowering. He has been in the 3.20 range all here in the second half since the All-Star game. Overall, allowing more hits than innings pitched, but not walking many at all. Defensively for the Astros tonight, they will line them up. Dustley, oh well, we'll get to that in just a moment. Technical difficulties will keep us away from the defense for the moment. Oh, we're back. Okay, in the outfield left to right, Mark Krause, Dexter Fowler, and Jake Marisnick. On the infield, Gregorio Petit gets a start at third, Marwin Gonzalez at short. On the right side, Jose Altuve and John Singleton, and Jason Castro, he of the grand slam last night, is behind the plate.
Oberholzer waiting for the leadoff man to step up, Daniel Robertson. He's put together a 5-game hitting streak, 5 for 12, 417. Starts the night with a 296 average, and the first pitch to him comes in for strike one. David Rackley is the home plate umpire. Oberholzer has had some first inning problems this year. He's given up first inning runs in 15 of his 19 starts. But what he's done is to cut the damage then. And usually it's just one run in the first. Trying to beat the Rangers for the first time in his career. Despite that good ERA of 2.25, he has no wins. And missing there, he falls behind 2-1 on Robertson, who's 28 years old, from Fontana, California. He went to Oregon State. Began his career with the Padres. The Rangers got him in a trade this May. He's a good defensive player, and he's worked the count to 3 balls, 1 strike now.
Very close off the outside edge. Tight corner to start with.
Rangers are 6-3 in Robertson's last 9 starts. He takes a leadoff walk. Robertson has 3 steals in 7 attempts. He's aboard for Elvis Andrus.
Those walks are rare for Brett Oberholzer. Last couple of pitches close, in particular ball 3. But apparently you're going to have to hit the plate all the way now to get a strike early in the ball game.
John Singleton will be holding Robertson with Andrus in the box. Andrus at 268 has 2 homers, 32 runs batted in. 0 for 9 career against Obi. Elvis has not left the building in terms of hitting home runs in his last 345 at bats.
That walk issued by Obi, just the 7th here in the second half.
Yeah, that's pretty rare for him, although it just seems that he needs to make these first inning adjustments, and he's talked about that in the past. There's strike 1 to Andrus.
Sometimes it can come right down to the home plate umpire. It appears that David Rackley, whether he'll extend it throughout the night, we'll see, but maybe one of those umpires who comes out in the first inning and says, I'm going to make it tight for a while. Certainly appeared that way.
Andrus fouls it back, and it snowballs 2 strikes to Elvis. He had a 2 for 4 game last night. The Astros won that game 4-2. Texas had 8 hits. So the Rangers, with 52 wins, 81 losses, are 4 games behind the Astros in the AL West standings. And 1 more loss tags them with their first losing season since 2008. 0-2 pitches in the dirt, and it's a 1-ball 2-strike count. Over the years, the Rangers have racked up 32 wins here at Minute Maid Park while losing 21 games. On Washington's club, tying a major league record by using its 59th different player tonight. Only the Giants have a better record among visiting teams at Minute Maid Park than the Rangers. Inside, and Obi does that out of necessity in order to get those pitches over the outside part of the plate and be effective with them. He's not shy about coming inside on right-handed batters with the fastball.
Doesn't appear to be fearful about the running game right here. He's only allowed 7 stolen bases in 9 tries on the year, but not employing the slide step.
Elvis checks his swing, and the count goes full now.
Look at Jason Castro's body language. Maybe frustration, a couple of pitches that he maybe has felt like could have been strikes. 1 on each hitter. That one obviously called low. And there's that body language. Where is the call?
Robertson has a pretty good size lead.
Very much a one-way lead.
Yeah. And Obi checks him. Obi has balked in each of his last 2 starts. That's been rare for him in his career. He only had 1 balk in his first 27 major league starts. There have been just 7 steals against him in 9 tries this season. There goes Robertson. The pitch is lined to the left field corner. Mark Krause over, and Robertson is hurrying around third and toward the plate. Here's the relay throw, and not in time. It's 1-0 Rangers, and Andrus winds up at second base.
Robertson pretty much a third base coach's delight as he came around the bags. Beautifully done, turning corners well. This ball was raked into that left field area. But again, 1 pitch after a pitch that clearly could have been called strike 3. There you go. Send him, because he's coming, and no breakdown of speed at all around the bag.
Andrus picks up his 33rd run batted in. Checking in with that RBI double, his 29th double of the year for Elvis. Alex Rios is the batter. Rios takes it. It's ball 1. He returns to the lineup tonight after missing last night's game. Rios has had a sore ankle. Suffered that in Toronto in the first series after the All-Star break, and now to add to that, he has a bad thumb. He pulls 1 foul. No balls, 2 strikes to Alex Rios, formerly of the Toronto Blue Jays. It's LSU night. Some of the luminaries from LSU football days are here tonight. They were introduced on the field.
LSU has had plenty of luminaries in recent years.
Yeah. Outstanding teams. Les Miles was here, what, about a month ago?
That's been a little while back. Seemed to be a very affable guy.
Oh, yeah. Enjoyed talking with him. Off the end of the bat toward the right field line. Marisnik over. Jake makes the catch inside the line. Here's the tag and the throw to third. And he got him. Tremendous throw by Jake Marisnik on his 4th outfield assist, gunning down Andrus.
I want to tell you, this young man can really throw from right field. And he gets it down, and it gets into the bag quickly. I'm not sure Jake thought the runner was coming initially. Didn't look like the quickest release, but once he let go of it, it was superb at that point.
A 9-5 double play started by Marisnik in right. Well, 2 things. Number 1, his range is outstanding, and then you saw the other one on the arm. Adrian Beltre is the batter. Very engaging 35-year-old third sacker. There's ball 1 on the curve to Beltre, starting the night 3rd in the batting race in the American League at 325. 17 homers, 67 runs batted in, and 4th in on-base percentage at 378. And he is 4 for 7 lifetime against Obi. Infield shifts around, and we were talking around the batting cage about that. He said, well, they don't shift on me a lot, but when they do, I'll go ahead and take a hit the other way.
I don't blame him. I think that's the intelligent thing to do.
That's how you hit 325. That's in the air to right center field. Fowler and Marisnick, and right up against the bullpen fence. Fowler hurt his nose, banging into Marisnick's shoulder, and Marisnick came out with a baseball. So they collided, but it's out number 3, and Marisnick is there with a catch. 1 run, 1 hit. Texas 1, Houston coming up. Blood from that nose as he banged into his right fielder, Jake Marisnick, who made the catch. We go to the Astros starting lineup. It's brought to you by Jack in the Box. Cole Porter goes with Marwin Gonzalez leading off for the 2nd straight night, playing shortstop. Robbie Grossman still coming back from a sore ankle. Jose Altuve's at second base. Chris Carter the DH. Dexter Fowler in center field. Jason Castro, Mr. Grand Slam last night. The catcher, Mark Krause in left field. John Singleton at first base. Jake Marisnick in right field. Gregorio Petit at third base.
On the mound for these Texas Rangers, right-hander Scott Baker, 32 years of age. He's a Louisiana boy, started his big league career with the Twins, onto the Cubs, and now the Rangers. In 22 games, 5 as a starter for Texas this year. 2-3, 5.45 the ERA. Right-hand batters have had a pretty good time hitting almost 280 against him.
He was a very fine pitcher with the Minnesota Twins for years in their rotation, a 15-game winner one year. Marwin Gonzalez takes his fastball. It's at 88, and it's upstairs for ball 1. 265 for Marwin. 6 homers, 20 runs batted in with a .417 average in his last 4 games. Last night, he was on twice in 4 trips to the plate. He had a single and a walk. This is in the air up the right field line, headed for the seats in foul territory.
The final out, and a nice play by Marisnick as Fowler kind of cruised into that area. So I really applaud Marisnick staying on this ball and making the play. Of course, we right here can't hear how Dexter was hollering, but he took one on the nose, and he's been attended to pretty steadily since coming back to the bench.
1-1 to Marwin. It's fouled away. He became the 6th different Astro to be the leadoff man. And he was in that position last night. Robbie Grossman's been leading off for quite a while, but Robbie turned that ankle a couple of nights ago and was ruled out last night. And today it's still sore, but Bo Porter said Robbie's a lot better today. That's a liner over shortstop, left center field. That's in for a hit. Here's the left fielder now, Choice, getting it back into second with a very good throw. Leadoff single, Margot.
You know, you hear the phrase a lot of times, a guy didn't try to do too much with a pitch. Watch Marwin just reach out and just shoot this ball to left center field. He got a pitch that if you tried to pull it, you would be trying to do too much. Instead, he goes with it, and beautifully done.
Now it's Jose Altuve, the batting leader in the American League at .332. He leads in hits as well with 182. He has 6 homers, 44 runs batted in, a .369 on base average for Altuve, who's on a 6-game hitting streak. He was 1 for 4 last night. Chops this one high to Beltre. Beltre throwing from foul ground on one bounce, and it's there for the out to Ryan Rua. Well, Beltre with a sparkling play, and the 4-time Gold Glover guns down the man he thinks will win the batting title, Jose Altuve.
Jose Altuve is going to beat this one most of the time, but Beltre has a very strong arm from sidearm submarine, and he just delivers it quickly, and that's how he winds up getting Jose. I would wager that with almost every third baseman, Jose is going to make that bang bang at the bag.
That's one out. The runner advancing to second base on the ground out. And Chris Carter, the DH, comes up. He's on a 4-game hitting streak. Fouls it back for strike one. Carter with 33 home runs is tied for second in the American League. He's driven in 78 with a .230 batting average. Tied for second in the majors in that home run race. Chris last night got a hit and drew a walk in 4 at-bats. That's in the air, and the second baseman is out. Odor behind second for out number 2. And Scott Baker has been what Hall of Fame broadcaster Eric Nadel of the Rangers called a staff saver. He's been working in relief, as Ash mentioned, most of the year. 17 relief performances. This is his 6th start, but as a long man, he can come in and go 5 innings, and sometimes that involves taking a pounding because Ron Washington needs the innings and doesn't want to give them to other relievers. He's done that, and now he's moved into the rotation. Dexter Fowler on a 5-game hitting streak facing Baker. And there's ball 1. Fowler at .273 with 8 homers, has 28 runs batted in and a fine .375 on base average. He's on a 5-game streak after going 1 for 4 last night. He had an infield hit, and that set the table for the Castro grand slam in the 5th inning. It's 2-0, and Baker at age 32 from Shreveport, Louisiana, as you mentioned, Ash, then went on to Oklahoma State. He was drafted in the 2nd round by the Twins in '03. And he's moved around after that, going to the Cubs, Seattle, and Texas picked him up as a free agent this March. He's fallen behind Fowler. It's 3 balls, no strikes.
I'm not sure at this stage of the career of Baker that his stuff is holding up as a starter. The numbers reflect that when he has been a starter this year, much higher batting average against, in fact almost 300, and just overall the numbers would indicate that he's not bringing the same stuff that he does in short stints out of the pen.
Fowler swinging on 3-0 does foul it. Somebody failed to make a play. Happy guy. This is the spot previously occupied in the Texas rotation by Yu Darvish, who's out for the season. So this might be the last time Baker is in this spot, because Derek Holland is rejoining the Rangers now after completing his minor league rehab start. Baker starting last time Sunday against Kansas City in a 3-1 win. Holland pitched for Round Rock last night, 5 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, and is back with the Rangers now. That's a line drive center field. Marwin Gonzalez coming to the plate. Here's the throw from Robertson offline. The game's tied. The throw into second gets Fowler. So a good return play as Taylese gets it over to Odor, and Bo Porter's coming out, so hold everything because this may be under review. Gonzalez scored the tying run. Fowler getting his 29th run batted in, and he takes his hitting streak to 6 games. Cole Porter talks it over with Tony Randazzo.
That's a nice job by Dexter on a pitch in on the inside corner. But you can see Dexter really costs himself by jogging down the line. He knows he's got a single. And that, by the way, was a nice effort by Robertson, really charging hard from the outfield.
And then the return throw gets the out at second. The tag made by Rosales, and it's 1-1.
For you to tweet your photos using hashtag CSNHFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. That is brought to you by AT&T, guys.
Thanks, Julia. We move to inning number 2. It's 1-1 after 1. And it'll be the first Major League plate appearance here for Ryan Rua. Recall from Round Rock prior to the game. He's 24 years old. 6'2" and 180 is his listed height and weight. He fouls back the first pitch from a Major League pitcher to him in a Major League game for strike 1. Rua, a 17th round pick of the Rangers in 2011. And at Round Rock, 306, 18 homers, 74 runs batted in. One hopper to third. Petit retires at 1 out.
Gregorio Petit is not a big guy, but he's got a pretty nice big arm. Really pops it across the infield.
It's been pretty impressive, hasn't he?
He's done a nice job, whatever he has been called upon to do. Not sure how much you can see of this arm. Takes his time, sets his feet, and then goes a little dart across the infield.
1 out now, and it's Adam Rosales up. Teach stays in at third. Adam's been known to bunt. Fouls it back, strike 1. He carries a .314 batting average with 3 homers, 13 runs batted in, and this month it's been .348, .392 on base average for him. Former Cincinnati Red, Oakland A. He fouls it back, and it's no balls, 2 strikes to Adam Rosales. He has 70 at bats this season. Adam's 31 years old. He's from Chicago and went to Western Michigan. 12th round draft choice by the Reds in 05. Rangers, as you know, have had a ton of injuries to go through these 59 players this year. And Rosales has been the beneficiary of some of that playing time because of the injuries. Looks at that one. It's a 1 ball, 2 strike count for Adam Rosales. He is starting now for the 6th time in the last 8 games for Ron Washington. And Obi gets his first punch out of the night.
Nice changeup to get it. And when Obi's throwing it right, and you can see the grip there using the end fingers on that left hand, he throws it with the fastball arm speed, and hitters are consistently out in front.
Now Tomas Telis, rookie catcher. Wednesday he got his first major league RBI on a 3-run double. Telis is 3 for 8 in the big leagues. And that's ball 1 to him. Called up from Round Rock on Monday. That Round Rock club has been tapped very hard by the Rangers, as you know, this season. Roll to first base where Singleton has it and turns it into out number 3. 1-1 in the second.
Jason Castro, he was the slam man. Got that fastball inner third and just drilled it to right field. Knew it was gone right away. Took a 2-0 lead for the Texas Rangers. Turned it into a 4-2 lead for the Houston Astros. They wouldn't let it go. Grand slam number 5 on the year for the Astros. Second of the career for Jason Castro.
So there's his slash line with 13 homers now, 50 runs batted in. After the big blow last night, he also had a single and a walk in that game, reaching base 3 times in 4 plate appearances for Jason. Baker deals, and it's ball 1. It was only the 4th time in Astros history that they scored 4 runs in a game, all coming on a grand slam. Your teammate did it, Craig Reynolds, in '86 at the Astrodome. 1-1. Derek Bell did it in '99 at the Astrodome. Hunter Pence did it in '08 here.
Multiple grand slams as a member of the Astros. I couldn't have told you Mark Bailey had a couple beats. Very good switch hitter.
1-2. Astros catchers hitting grand slams. Pretty good history of that. Jason has fit well into that.
But Brad Ausmus at the top of that heap.
Yes. Brad is managing right now at Chicago against the White Sox. It's 1-0 Sox over Detroit after 1. That's strike 3 call on the fastball of Baker. Strikeout number 1 for him.
Castro had to be guessing something else, because this is all ball on white. At least it appears that way. Catcher reaching back toward the plate, and that fastball away is Jason's bread and butter.
Mark Krause comes up. He started last night in left field, and Mark was 0 for 3 with a walk in that game. 199, 6 homers, 21 runs batted in for Mark. He's hit safely in 7 of his last 10 games. That went inside for ball 1. This is Mark's 50th start of the year. 28 of those coming at first base. This is his 17th in left field. Played left field pretty well last night. 2 balls, no strikes. He went back as the wall ends there in left center field. He knew exactly how to get back behind it to play a ball over in the bullpen area at the 362 sign. He looks at Baker's next pitch, and it's ball 3.
Boy, this is a tight, small box strike zone. That pitch right there around the waist. Anything that's been fractionally off the corners has been a ball.
And now he takes a 4-pitch walk.
And below the knees.
Well, Baker is one of those pitchers, and so is Obi, another who can deal with a tight strike zone. They'd rather not. Baker coming into this season had 228 walks and 973 major league innings. Now it's Singleton batting. John with 12 homers, 41 runs batted in, a 182 average, just 156 against righties. Last night John was 0 for 4. That's strike 1 for Baker. Baker has a 2.45 ERA this year in the month of August. Last time out when he beat Kansas City 3-1 on Sunday, that was his first win as a starter in more than 3 years. Upstairs, that makes it 2-0, or 1-1 rather, for Singleton. Baker has wins in each of his last 2 appearances, 1 in relief and then that last start. The first 20 times he pitched this year for the Rangers, the club lost those 20 games.
Ooh, that's a tough stat.
Yeah. So he went 0-20, so to speak, and now they won the last 2.
Of course, part of that can be being that long guy in the bullpen where you come in when your starter has been abused early.
Exactly. Now, they've been behind a lot, and then when he comes in, sometimes it's coming in for multiple innings just to keep them from abusing the bullpen. Bounce foul. Here's Jerome Williams. Jerome Williams had a good start for them after he was released by the Astros. And then Jerome Williams gave up 10 earned runs in 1 game. Fouled away by Singleton. His 12 home runs are the most for an Astros rookie first baseman since Jeff Bagwell hit 14 in 1991. Jeff hit 15 that year, but 14 of those while he was playing first base. The way it's broken down, if a guy's a pinch hitter, that doesn't count as a home run as a first baseman. Two and two. Well, the Oakland A's won 2 of 3 here from the Astros before moving on into Anaheim. They lost a tough one last night to the Angels, and they'll be playing again later tonight in game 2 of their 4-game series. The Angels currently leading the A's by 2 games. Popped up. Baker's underneath it, but the first baseman calls him off, and Rua takes it. 2 outs. Singleton hit a high pop-up in last night's game.
That was the one that I felt like he just crushed it, but straight up.
Yeah. So there's a look at the AL West right now. The Mariners are 7.5 out. And the Astros and Rangers.
It's been an intriguing division with the A's jumping out to the early lead and for a long time, but the Angels just kept plugging along. And they've had a pretty good year out of Albert Pujols offensively to back up Mike Trout and others. Scored a lot of runs. They've got much better pitching than anticipated.
Foul back by Marisnik. And the fans right below us had a shot at that, and they missed it.
Unacceptable.
Those LSU guys failed to make the play. Billy Cannon would have had it.
Just wait till Coach Miles hears about this.
Oh, yeah. He was fun to talk to that night, as you said, when he came out and had a nice chat with him. Talked about Johnny Manziel and all sorts of things football.
Did he try to recruit you? That's what I need to know.
Oh, he knows better than that. There's no future in that. He wants some guys who can help his program. Roll that shortstop. Rosales gets it on to second to Odor for the force on Krause. That's the second inning, and it's tied at 1.
At CSNHouston.com, because In-Game Live is your place for all the stats you need beyond the box score. You can also vote for your player of the game. Your top choice is shown on TV afterwards on Astros Postgame Live. So right now, the Astros record, they have 57 wins with 27 games remaining. So first off, they're very much improved. They could get to the 70-win mark with 13 wins in their last 27 games. For Twitter tonight, we're looking for your predictions. Tweet us what you think will be the Astros record by the end of the year and explain why, because I'm reading the best tweets on TV. So Twitter prediction time, guys. Back over to you.
You are the man, Howard, on all things Twitter.
He's certainly looking suave.
Oh, he's got Ned Odor tried to bunt his way on and missed. Strike 1. He's got some threads on tonight.
See that bunt effort, trying to slap it, it appeared. Wasn't sure it was going to bring a call with it.
It wouldn't be slapped.
It refused to be slapped.
Bouncer off the glove of Obi and over to Altuve. He just redirected it for a 1-4-3 play for out number 1.
Obi's not a bad fielding pitcher, and nice job even getting to this ball. Sometimes you'll touch that ball and actually cost your infielder the chance.
No doubt. Now that time it helped Altuve, but sometimes in a play like that, the second baseman will be breaking up the middle. The pitcher deflects it back toward the first base bag, and he's unable to get back. Michael Choice, the batter. Choice 0 for 10 in his 3 starts since he was recalled from Round Rock on Monday. Choice is 0 for 3 and was hit by pitch in this series last night. That one's in tight. That almost hit him on ball 1. Strike is there, and it's a 1-1 strike count to Michael Choice. Grew up in the Metroplex Native of Fort Worth, went to UT Arlington, became the career home run leader at that school. Big cut there, makes it 1-2 to Choice, and he gave the Texas Rangers a win over the Astros back in April.
April 12th. Had a big home run in that game.
Wow. You nailed that date.
I know you were all over it.
I had it written down, though. You remembered it. Cold.
You'd love to think so.
Hot shot, fair. And it kicks out towards center field. Mark Krause had broken toward the corner. That makes it an easy double now for Michael Choice, his 5th double of the year. And it hit that angled portion of the wall in foul territory. And that's why in this ballpark the shortstop really needs to help on a play like that.
What did Choice just signify to his teammates? Let's huddle up. None of this run and gun offense. We're going to huddle up right now after this double.
All right.
Looked like that's what he did with his hands together. I don't think his teammates are paying attention.
They're not huddling up. 5th double of the year for Choice. And it's Daniel Robertson batting. He drew a leadoff walk and scored in the 1st. He smacks a line drive hit to left field in front of Krause. Choice gets to 3rd on the single, and it's 1st and 3rd, 1 out. Robertson jumping all over that first offering.
I'm not sure what Choice was having a tough time reading on this shot. This was skull piece into left field and no chance for anybody. Watch Choice. He holds up and then still kind of stutter step. There was really nothing to read there.
So now the double play in order. It's Elvis Andrus. And he had the RBI double to left field in the 1st inning. Andrus runs well. Andrus has grounded into 18 double plays this year, though. In the dirt, ball 1. Colin McHugh went 7 last night, giving up 8 hits and 2 runs, beating Texas 4-2. The Astros getting an outstanding start from McHugh.
See the work here from Jason Castro. I'm not sure on breaking ball off speed in the dirt that's exactly the way you want to go at it. And with Castro immediately going to the mound, I'm wondering if there was a bit of a cross up.
May have been. 8 double play ground outs and 99 chances. 1 per 12. That is probably slightly below major league average. He's not really a big ground ball pitcher.
Which is a bit surprising with his changeup, although he's got one of those swing and miss changeups.
Strike call there. Makes it 1-1. Astros have won 6 of Ovi's last 8 starts.
You know, that's the first time on the evening that a hitter has been disappointed with a called strike. It has been tight.
And a throw goes over to first. In the last 12 starts for Oberholzer since the 24th of May in the majors, he's 4-3 with a 3.20 ERA. Runner breaks for second. Here's the throw on through. And on one bounce, he doesn't get him. Altuve, though, comes up with it. So Choice cannot score. Robertson gets the steal, his 4th of the year, to get a second runner into scoring position.
I am very impressed with Robertson. Does a number of things well, and doing something well right here, Jose Altuve. Body in front. That's tough to do on that throw that's going to skid off of the grass. Nice job by Jose.
And the pitch was a strike, so it's 1-2 now on Andrus. The infielders stay back with 1 out. Bouncer off his leg. So they'll concede the run on a ground ball to short or second. A reminder now, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time. Later in tonight's game, it's brought to you by Miller Lite. Alex Rios on deck. This is game 2 of a 4-game series. Tomorrow night it's Scott Feldman and Miles Michaelis. With a Saturday night start time of 6:10 as usual. Well, usual lately because earlier in the year we had 3:10 starts on Saturday. 2-2, and then Sunday it's a 1:10 finale for this series. Dallas Keuchel and Nick Martinez to pitch. Monday's an off day. The Angels are here Tuesday and Wednesday nights. The Angels are a very good team right now. Now it's 3-2 to Elvis Andrus. After winning last night, the Angels' winning percentage is let's see. It is .602 now. I was looking at the wrong Los Angeles.
And without question, the best record in the league. Best record in the major leagues.
Yep. They're the only team above .600 for winning percentage. The other Los Angeles is .567, the Dodgers. And they have a 4.5 game lead on the Giants. So the hot pennant races right now are in the NL Central, the AL Central, and the AL West. In the air and shallow to right center field. Marisnick over. Watch the big time arm. Choice is coming. The throw is up the line though and backed up by Oberholzer as the run scores to make it 2-1 Texas. That throw a real flyer from Marisnick. Sacrifice fly for Andrus. His 34th run batted in and second of this game.
Though Marisnick was trying to get an out at the plate without question, this is not the way he intended it. That just slips out of his hand, and nice shot by Obi to be in the right spot to back up. But you know, you get that reputation as a throwing outfielder, and sometimes you start trying to hump up a little too much. That may have been the case.
Robertson advanced to third on that errant throw. Choice scoring the go-ahead run. Now it's Rios batting. Rios flied to right earlier. Ball 1 to Rios. Rios has played for the Blue Jays and the White Sox. He has an option on his contract for next year at $13.5 million. His name is thrown around at trade time. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Rios is a guy that was already picked up once on waivers, that by the White Sox back in 2009. He seemed at the time, or was said to be untradeable.
Broken bat liner for out number 3. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 man left at third, 2-1 Rangers.
And the Houston area Chevy dealers are providing 500 tickets to active duty U.S. military and veterans for Military Night tomorrow, August 30th. Valid military ID required. Tickets available while supplies last. Guys, good news for the Astros. Alex Presley getting in the cage today, taking BP with the team. He's done this all once before. Of course, having that setback about a couple weeks ago when he tried to rehab in Tri-Cities, trying to come back from that right oblique strain. It happened when they were playing the Rangers. That was back in early July. So this has taken a lot of time, a lot longer than he would have wanted. But that is a good sign. He's starting to work his way back. Rehab questionable only because minor league teams will be done here in the next couple of days. So we'll see what happens there, guys.
There are some interesting things in the mix. Thank you, Julia. Gregorio Petit up and in, ball one. 2-1 Rangers. Gregorio leading it off here in inning number 3 with a .295 average. 1 homer, 5 runs batted in. Matt Dominguez was the third baseman last night. Petit gets his crack at the hot corner in this game. And he's moved around on the infield. Taking ball 2 there. He's been a good contributor to this team. Yeah, as far as that rehab time goes, it could get a little dicey because the Oklahoma City Redhawks are close to clinching a playoff spot in the Pacific Coast League. Normally players are not sent down for rehab during playoff games. Not to say that it couldn't happen. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Corpus Christi is close to finishing its season. And with 4 games remaining on the Hook schedule, they're mathematically eliminated from postseason play. So there won't be any rehab opportunity after they play a few more games. 3-2 now to Petit. Marwin Gonzalez on deck. Way upstairs, and that's a foul tip strikeout. Petit chasing on Baker's pitch. Baker got him to go for strikeout number 2 of the night. Julia has a note.
Guys, we were talking about the rehab stuff. Darren Downs had a rehab assignment tonight with Corpus Christi, the left-handed reliever. Things went well. I just checked the box score on him. Only went 1 inning. That first inning, 3 strikeouts for him. He worked around a couple of singles to do that, so that's a good start for him.
Thanks for the update. Marwin Gonzalez singled and scored in the Astros' first inning. That's ball 1 to him from Scott Baker. Shooting for win number 3 of this season. Back in 2009, he was 15-9 for the Twins, working 200 innings. 1-1, but he had Tommy John surgery in 2012 and had only 3 games in the majors last year. Very experienced hand, though, who's had 167 starts, 65 major league wins. Line drive, left field corner. It's slicing and staying fair, going into that corner. Choice over to play it. Gonzalez into second, and he's 2 for 2. 11th double for Marwin.
Yeah, just continue to say of Marwin Gonzalez what a fine year he's putting together, defensively and with the bat, both sides of the plate offensively. Been a very good, steady performer. Comes up a little shy in that speed department, but otherwise really gives you all you ask for.
He's in scoring position with 1 out for Jose Altuve. Altuve had a grounder, and Beltre snagged it and then threw him out from foul territory in the first inning. Yeah, Beltre said around the batting cage tonight of the batting race, he thinks Altuve will win it. He also loves Victor Martinez as a hitter, but he said Victor is not going to get any bunt hits. He doesn't run well. Margot takes off for third. Here's the throw to Beltre, and they get him. Beltre down on his knees to make the tag on the throw from Taylor. Round number 2.
Kelly's getting the start behind the plate. Robinson Chirinos is the guy that's a great throwing catcher, but that's really coming out of there quick for Taylor's. That throw into the runner's side, and that certainly plays for the Texas Rangers here. Marwin better know he's got this if he's going to take off.
Big play. Beltre got there early to present that target for the catcher. Now Altuve takes that pitch. The appeal went to first. It's a check swing call. And the count runs to 2 balls, no strikes. That is a costly out at third base for the Astros for out number 2. Gonzalez now 1 for 5 in base stealing this year.
Again, speed is not his strength by any stretch.
Baker had allowed 4 steals in 4 attempts this season. Well, the general rule of thumb on stealing third is just don't get thrown out.
Guys will say all the time, if you're going to take off for third base, and it doesn't matter who you are, you better know you've got it.
Foul back, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes to Jose Altuve. Altuve was talking before the game in the Astros clubhouse about Robinson Cano, and he really thinks Robinson Cano has an excellent shot at the batting title. Seattle, of course, being in contention. Cano has really hit well to all fields this year. Upstairs, ball 3.
If Altuve can get back in one of those stretches where he starts stringing 2 and 3 hit games together, the occasional 4 hit game, I think he could run away with it, but he hasn't been in that groove now for a while.
He's hit .298 in August. That's brought his average down a bit. Fly ball will hang into left field. Choice underneath it. And in the third for Houston, no runs, a hit, nobody left. 2-1 Texas. Fourth inning. And here's a look at how he has dominated the Rangers this year.
Great ERA at 193 versus the 430 against the rest of Major League Baseball. So Brett has stood up to the boot task against these Rangers. And then you can see he has actually gone after the Rangers a little differently than he has other teams, working that outside edge more.
He goes with a curveball at strike 1 to Beltre. Hit the fly ball to right field. Then Marisnik made the catch up against the wall 373 feet away. In the air foul, no balls, 2 strikes to Adrian Beltre. This guy has a 12-game hitting streak against the Astros. He's hit in all 7 of his games here at Minute Maid Park this year. His career batting average here is .322. He lines this one to left field. Mark Krause coming over, and that one drops in for a hit. He went up for a high pitch, and Beltre extends his hitting streak to 13 games against the Astros.
Now, I don't know if a speedier left fielder has any shot at this ball. Sometimes you can get fooled on balls in the air for a while, but Mark Krause is not the fastest of outfielders, and yet, as you said last night, he did a real nice job defensively.
Beltre displayed there why he's tough to strike out. He has struck out 55 times this year. For a guy with his power, that is very good at keeping the strikeouts down. He went up and hit that 0-2 pitch. It did stay in the air for a while. There's strike one to Ryan Rua. He was voted the top hitting prospect this year in the Texas League before being promoted to the Pacific Coast League in Round Rock. Fouled away, no balls, 2 strikes.
Well, that sets up nice for a young player heading to Arlington, where hitters love to swing the bats.
Don't they, though? That's one of the great hitters' parks in the major leagues. Rua grew up in Ohio. He went to Lake Erie College. You ever heard of that one?
No, I have not.
Last year he hit a total of 32 homers at 2 different minor league stops. He was at Hickory, where he hit 29 bombs, and then at Frisco for 86 at bats. He hit 3 more.
Not a real big guy either.
Major league debut, Ryan Rua. Mike Karp was the first baseman last night. Jim Adduci went on the 7-day concussion disabled list. That's why Rua came up from the minors. Adduci took that spill in foul territory on the excellent catch he made last night, but his head snapped back when he hit the ground, and he left the game after that, after catching Marisnick's foul ball. That was in the 4th inning last night. In recent years, Major League Baseball has instituted that 7-day concussion disabled list, so more testing will be done on him. Castro came up quickly out of that crouch on ball 1 to Ryan Rua. Rua's had 471 at bats this year in the minors with 18 homers, 74 runs batted in at those 2 stops combined. Swings at that one and strikes out. Strikeout number 2 for Obi.
Welcome to the Major League changeup. And not even a great location, but such an effective pitch. Create memories, have fun, and enjoy a premium experience with an Astros luxury suite at Minute Maid Park. We'll create an experience your group is sure to remember. Call Astros Premium Ticket Line at 1-877-9-ASTROS to reserve your luxury suite today.
Now, Brett Strom, the pitching coach, is visiting the mound. Runner at first, 1 out here in the 4th inning. We talked about the 7-day concussion disabled list, and here's what led to that for Jim Adduci.
Well, he makes a very nice play, and he got undercut there, and you can see the head go back, then hit the padding, and he appeared to be in a fair amount of pain as he went off the field, but he did go off under his own power. I don't know how anybody determines concussions these days. There may be some that are easy and some that are in a gray area, but they sure are taking the precautionary stance.
Rosales struck out earlier. Grounds this one wide of third base. Well, especially with rosters about to expand, Ash, that's the only way to treat it. In a precautionary way when a player takes that kind of spill.
And having not completed my medical degree yet, I just don't know at what point they're able to definitively say, yes, you've had a concussion, and well, we're not sure, but maybe we have to treat you as if you have had one.
We'll have to ask around about that tomorrow. Are you in favor of roster expansion in September?
Sure. Now, it can be used to benefit teams that are hoping to get into postseason play, no question. But I don't know. Without it, are you able to take that peek at some players that might be part of your roster next year? And is that necessary? I don't know. Are you against it?
Well, not necessarily. Shot to third off Petit. He got a bad hop. He's down, and the runners are at first and second now. Looked like a double play ball off the bat, but then it came up and hit Petit. It's ruled a bad hop single.
It's so tough as a pitcher. You get that ground ball that could be a double play, and you need it. And when you don't get it, it's murder. But you can see that it's also rather painful if you're the infielder.
Head athletic trainer Nate Lucero out.
You see that the arm is what's initially being checked right here. It looked like the ball came up and hit the chest as well, but I have a feeling this ball came up just enough to take arm and then up into the chest area. Very sharply hit. Let's see what this hits. Yeah, right off that wrist above the glove. You know what? If you're a catcher, so many pitches in the dirt wind up doing that very same thing, and it's kind of a different life back there as a catcher, where you hear about guys kind of getting abused over a period of time, but you take this almost routinely as a catcher. Now, I have watched Jason Castro take time and time again the shots off the forearm and the wrist.
T looking down at that left wrist, stays in the game. Now 2 men on and 1 out for Taylors. Beltre's at second with Rosales at first base. Taylors is a switch hitter. He signed as a third baseman for Venezuela and then was converted to catcher. Hector Ortiz taught him catching. Ortiz joined him on Monday when he reached the big leagues for the first time, and he caught a shutout in his first major league game. And strike one to Taylors. The home plate umpire for that shutout was Todd Tishner, and he was so impressed he gave the Rangers the lineup card and said, give it to the young catcher. Broken bat looper behind second. That's a hit into center field. Beltre's being waved home by Gary Pettis. Here's Fowler's throw, cut off, and it's 3-1 Rangers. Fourth run batted in for Taylors, who is now 4 for 9 as a major leaguer.
Hey, the Rangers are splatting their way right here to picking up a run. Just right off the end of the bat. But really no difficulty in reading this if you're the base runner, Beltre. And you see with Fowler, he tries to do the right thing, make sure and hit the cutoff man. But you'd like to hit him right through the chest, where the ball, if not cut, one hops into the plate.
Now 3-1 Rangers. They have 6 hits. Runners at first and second and 1 out, and the batter is Odor. Odor hit the grounder and off Oberholzer's glove. It was deflected to Altuve, who threw him out in the third inning. Bouncer, and that's just foul. Just wide of first base for strike one. Nobody working in the Astros bullpen as Oberholzer who has given up 6 hits, tries to get out of this 4th inning dilemma. Last time out, Obi lost 3-1 at Cleveland, giving up 10 hits and 3 runs in 6 2/3 innings. Swing there helps him. An inside pitch that makes it 0-2 to Rougned Odor.
Most pitchers primarily work away. That pitch can go a long way to helping you be able to go back out to the outside corner.
Odor is just 20 years old. Came up from Double-A May 8th. It's been a big hole at second base because of the shoulder surgery to Jurickson Profar. The Rangers have looked at several players at that position. Odor pulls one and it goes foul. Still 0-2. In the last 50 years, Odor did something that only a couple of other second basemen have done. Hit a home run in the big leagues. Profar did it. Robbie Alomar and Danny Ainge. Danny didn't play very long. Did pretty well in the NBA. Popped up. Petit comes in. Castro will look to the third baseman to make the catch. Infield fly was called. 2 outs.
Yeah, Danny was that guy for years that people loved to hate.
Oh, they did.
Very fine Boston Celtics guard.
Yes, he was pretty well despised around the NBA and those other arenas, except at Boston Garden.
Longtime GM now for the Celtics.
Yeah. Michael Choice doubled in the 3rd. How are the Celtics going to be this year? Do we know?
Not a clue. Not a clue. Okay. Defer to the truck and got a quick terrible back. Perry's the man.
Perry Furman, all things NBA, will answer our questions. High drive, left field, and this one will be a 3-run Ranger home run. Michael Choice hits number 9 of the year, and the Rangers have a breakout 4th inning. It's a 4-run frame. They take the 6-1 lead as Choice drives in his 31st.
This was a towering shot that got well back up on the railroad tracks. And I was watching this closely as it went by the light tower. That's that area, actually more towards center, where Sammy Sosa launched one some years back. But this ball was clouded quite well. And could not tell how close this came to getting to the lights. You can see. I mean, it's reasonably up there.
Clock had passed right underneath the lights. Daniel Robertson takes ball 1. Oberholzer has not absorbed this kind of damage for a long while. Gave up 5 earned runs in 6 1/3 against the Angels on the road July 3rd. He gave up 6 runs in 3 2/3 here against Oakland back on the 24th of April.
Now, this is not to fault Gregorio Petit in any way. That was a very tough play that came his way. But if you're Brett Oberholzer, you got the ground ball that you like to hope get you out of the inning with a double play. It didn't happen, and this is what can follow.
1-2. That ball was hit by Rosales. That would have been the inning-ending double play. But it turned out to be one. Line drive right field. Marisnik with the catch. The Rangers come up with a big inning to take a 6-1 lead.
And time for the Geico quote of the day. The Astros 9-4 against the Rangers this season. Pretty good there. Bo Porter saying this: the Texas Rangers handed it to us last year in a man-to-a-man. We all came out with the thought process this year that we want to reverse our fortunes against them. We've played some of our best baseball against them this year, needing one more win to take that silver boot. Guys, that's very big. And today, before things got started, the guys were busy. They had to get to the ballpark a little earlier, put on their white uniforms, and take the 2014 team photo. Looking good. Where were y'all?
Well, we were with Lance Berkman.
Oh, of course.
Lance never made a team photo, I don't think, so in all the years he was here. Maybe the first couple of years. There's ball one. They airbrushed him in. Chris Carter leads it off in the bottom of the fourth inning. 6-1 lead for the Rangers. We were fighting that nasty traffic out there, Julia. You get to the ballpark far earlier than we do, but this Labor Day crush was on today. We should have left hours earlier, Ash. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, but we still got our team photo taken up here in the booth. Where was Julia for that one?
She was getting ready.
Nobody invited me for a team photo.
Hanging with Lance Berkman again.
Yeah.
We'll blame everything on Lance. 2 balls and 2 strikes. How about the month of August for Chris Carter? 12 homers, 29 runs batted in, .670 slugging percentage, all tops in the majors, and 20 runs scored, tied for 5th. He checked his swing on appeal, and that brings the count full.
Chris doing a nice job laying off. Strong fella. That bat may have gotten 2 through the front of the plate, but he's just so much easier, quieter at the plate right now.
He grounds that one foul. Jeff Bagwell in August of 2000 drove in 29 runs in August. No, Jeff Bagwell drove in 34. Chris Carter has 29, so 34 is the club record for the Astros for August.
That's a fair month.
Oh boy, it's a good pace to be on. Out into right center field, coming over Rios. 1 out. And it's Dexter Fowler following. Fowler singled in a run in the first inning, and he was thrown out trying to move into second base on that throw to the plate. Very interesting article in Sports Weekly this month, Ash, about hitting 300 in the major leagues and how much more difficult it is than it was back in 2000 when Jeff Bagwell had that magnificent year here.
And the logic for saying it's more difficult is about bullpens?
That's part of it. Ball 1 to Fowler. Stan McNeil of USA Today wrote the article. He said the way this season is progressing, more players could finish with 150 strikeouts than a 300 batting average.
Yeah, but I don't know how you determine the cause of those strikeouts. Is it a different style of hitting? Is it hitters being less adept at making contact? Or is it the pitching being that much better in that area?
Yeah, the story really didn't deal so much with reasons as just the facts.
But without reasons, I'm not sure that you can determine that hitting is more difficult today. It could, you could argue that the hitters are just not as good as they were some years back.
Well, it would be tough to make that point, I think. But for one thing, there's steroid testing now, so that has some influence on the offense in the game. Then there's dominant pitching.
I think it's a huge impact. I mean, during that steroid era, the home runs alone were just off the charts, and I think the overall hitting came along. But yeah, it is a very different world right now.
Boy, isn't it? That's a strike at the knees. That makes it 3-2 to Fowler. Only 21 players with 400 plate appearances or more carried a 300 batting average into this week. There were 3 times that many in 2000. That's a shot out to right center field over Rios, and that one will bang off the bullpen wall. kick out to the center fielder Robertson for a double for Fowler. Fowler's 2 for 2. That's his 15th two-base hit.
Well, they flat rocked this ball. No question about it, and no doubt about getting the double. As compared to back in the first inning when he jogged it out of the box, tried to stretch and got thrown out. He's got some surprising pop at times. Just nice and easy through the strike zone.
The Astros need more hitting like that if they're to come from behind and win this one. Trailing 6-1. Fowler with 2 of their hits. Gonzalez has the other 2. Jason Castro struck out looking in the second. Pulls that one foul. There's strike 1. With this story by Stan McNeil makes the point that it used to be that a 300 batting average defined a really good hitter. Well, now 283 is the 2014 equivalent of 300. 283. So if you're a 283 hitter in 2014, that would be equal to a 300 hitter in 2000. Just going with the top third of the major league hitters, 1-1. Carl Yastrzemski, as you know, Ash, won the American League batting title at 301 in 1968. That year, 6 players hit 300. So we're not quite down to that point yet, but headed in that direction anyway.
Well, that sounds like probabilities. The chance to hit 300 based on the number of guys that are doing it compared to those years.
Yeah, it's all numerical.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. 2 balls and a strike. That 2000 season was so explosive. Of course, 98, 99, that whole era. It's very, very difficult to be a 300 hitter. So Jose Altuve started the night at 332. Cream of the crop.
I'll take it back to before the steroid era ever began.
Bouncer, first baseman knocks it down. Rua throwing to Baker, covering. Gets out number 2, Fowler to third base.
And you look back then to some of the guys that were putting up phenomenal numbers. And you could go Tony Gwynn and Wade Boggs and Rod Carew, Pete Rose. There were a lot of tremendous hitters in that era. And I don't know how you compare them to the hitters of today other than that you're talking about clean hitters. But I do think that bullpens are drastically different and better today than in those days.
Sure they are. And the way they're used, 1 inning per reliever usually maximum for the hard throwing guys after the 6th inning. Mark Krause drew a 4-pitch walk in the 2nd inning. That's the only walk for Baker. All 1 for Baker.
And teams can say all they want about their efforts to get the starter out of the game and get to the bullpen. And in the long haul, that's going to be tough on that other club. But on that given night, that may not be an advantage for that offense because the bullpens are that good today.
Krause looks at a strike. It's 1-1. Last night, the starter was Nick Tepesch, and he had a lead of 2-0 in the 5th inning for the Rangers, and was pulled from the game after getting the first out. He gave up a single to Altuve, walked Carter, and came out of that game. Ron Washington was asked about it later. He said, well, he didn't have his good stuff. He struggled in every inning, and he didn't have his good sinker going. And I just thought rather than have him face the middle of the order the 3rd time through, I would go to the bullpen. He brought in the hard thrower, Roman Mendez, and Mendez wound up giving the grand slam to Castro.
And statistically, Mendez was the very wise choice to have out there. He had been brilliant. Jason Castro, however, found a fastball to his liking.
3 balls and a strike now to Krause. And if he could put a swing on one the way Castro did last night, things will get more interesting here. He fouls it. 3-2. Baltimore's pounding Minnesota 9-1 there in the bottom of the 8th inning in Baltimore. Birds looking very strong with a 7-game lead on the Yankees. Yankees up on Toronto now 5-3 after 7. Fly ball hits for the left fielder Choice. And in the 4th inning, it's no runs a hit and the runner stranded. It's 6-1 Rangers.
Shutout innings in a 7-0 win over St. Louis. And by the way, this is our moment in history brought to you by MD Anderson, making cancer history. Chad Qualls threw 1 shutout inning in that game in relief as Cecil Cooper gets his first managerial win. But Roy Oswalt, birthday August 29th, and some kind of pitcher for the Astros for a long time.
He's on the verge of taking over the club record for career wins when he was traded. He wanted to be dealt. Chad Qualls, what's he working on out there? Tootsie Roll?
Looked like it.
Well, he has a few innings before he has to be concerned about coming in. 6-1 Rangers. Andrus leading it off in the 5th, and he may not come in a game like this, of course. That would be unusual. Ball 1 to Andrus. Andrus has worked a couple of full counts tonight. He has an RBI double in the 1st and a sac fly in the 3rd. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Elvis just turned 26 a few days ago. Two and 1 to Elvis Andrus. Delvin Young hit his 7th home run tonight for Baltimore. Chris Davis, number 24. Mr. Davis has gotten hot here in the 2nd half. 3 balls, 1 strike. Andrus is from Jose Altuve's hometown of Maracay, Venezuela. Fowler over in right center field. 1 out.
10,000 fans will receive a Reed and Nolan Ryan dual bobblehead courtesy of Houston Methodist. That's on August 30th when the Astros take on these Rangers. There'll be 50 bobblehead boxes signed by Reed and Nolan, randomly distributed to the 50 lucky fans throughout the entrances here at Minute Maid Park. Visit Astros.com for your details.
That's 12-year-old Reed Ryan
and Colin McHugh. Sorry, Nolan, we couldn't fit you on that one.
Alex Rios, 0 for 2. Takes ball 1. Nolan Ryan set some records that won't be touched. Fly ball out to left center field. That hangs up there. Krause moving for it. Fowler going for it. It bangs off the bullpen fence. Fowler picks it up, and it's a double for Rios. 28th double for Alex Rios.
Yeah, this ball pretty well splits the two outfielders, Krause and Fowler. And let's see if we can catch a glimpse of where this ball ultimately hits. Let's see. Yeah, that ball lands on the ground. And I'm really surprised with that being the case that there wasn't one of the two outfielders getting closer on this ball.
Had some hang time on it. 28 doubles for Rios now. Beltre the batter. Beltre takes strike one. Adrian Singleton scored in the 4th inning. He got a hit on an 0-2 pitch up around shoulder level. Miguel Gonzalez pitched well tonight for Baltimore. 7 innings, 1 run. It's 1-1. Bud Norris was their starter last night. Baltimore's going to be tough to catch now. Eight hits for the Rangers, 4 for the Astros. No errors in the game. That's in the dirt. Beltre dancing around. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, we were talking about Beltre last night. Just a guy who loves playing the game, has fun with it. And as he goes to dancing around like this, I guarantee you that's just Beltre having fun with the situation.
He does. And it's hard for a guy like him who's been on very good Texas Ranger clubs to have fun in a season like this.
You have to admire a guy that can go out there and make it enjoyable each night.
Fly ball right field, chases Marisnick deep. Marisnick on the run. He dives, but it bounces into the seats. And that's an opposite field RBI double for Beltre, who's 2 for 3 tonight. He's gaining on Jose Altuve in the batting race. 26th double for Beltre. That's a 68th run batted in.
Well, Jake Marisnick has caught everything in sight since he's joined this ball club. But this line drive finds a way to just elude his glove. And it looked like there was one adjustment stride there for Jake. I'm not sure that initially he realized this was hit quite this hard.
Right.
But boy, does he go after the baseball.
Gave it everything he had. Now Bo Porter's out.
And we've seen Jake dive time and time again on balls.
945th career extra base hit. And that's the one that KOs Oberholzer. Jake Buchanan's been warming up in the bullpen. 7 earned runs allowed tonight by Oberholzer, the most this season. There's 1 out in the 5th inning, and the Rangers lead it 7-1. We'll be right back. The top of the fifth with one out and a runner at second base after Beltre's RBI double. Jake Buchanan comes in. He's 1-3 with a 4.50 ERA.
Yeah, both left and right hand hitters pretty equally having their way with Jake. Not an overpowering guy. Has to spot it well. 9 walks in 24 innings. Also a figure he'd like to cut down.
Ryan Rua will be the first man he faces. Rua's 0 for 2 in his major league debut. Buchanan was a starter most of the time in the minor leagues this year. And he has made a couple of starts for the Astros, but has worked primarily as the long man. And his slider is in for strike one. Buchanan will turn 25 in September. Jake's from Charlotte, North Carolina. Went to North Carolina State, an 8th round pick in the 2010 draft by the Astros. Roll to Altuve's left. He spins, throws to first, and to Singleton, and gets him. Good play by Altuve, who was playing up the middle. Beltre to third.
A lot of ranging here for Jose Altuve, and we've mentioned a lot this year that not only has he been great with the bat, but he's been improved. He's been really good defensively, ranging well to go along with the stolen base game.
Adam Rosales comes to the plate. Rosales got an infield hit in the 4th, and he's 1 for 2. Rangers got 4 in that 4th inning. Fly ball out to Marisnick's right, and he gets there for the 3rd out. 1 run scores for the Rangers on 2 hits. They leave a man, and they're up 7-1.
Progressive fan of the game. I'm with Gael, the Astros' biggest fan. But Gael, who's your favorite player?
Jose Altuve.
And I've noticed that you're wearing a couple of shirts. Why is this? Is this what happens?
I don't know, because if Jose Altuve makes a good, awesome play, I do my shirt.
Yeah. What do you do?
I pull my shirt like this. Altuve! I'm your biggest fan, Altuve!
Okay, guys, notice that he's wearing that backwards just so he can do that. That is a champ right there. Thanks, Gael. Proud of you.
Oh, yeah, he's well fortified. He won't be warm tonight. Pitch is upstairs, and here's Singleton taking ball 1. Bottom of the 5th inning. Singleton popped to first in the 2nd inning. Altuve 0 for 2 in this game. And the Astros are down 7-1. They've been out hit 9-4. Now back, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count with Marisnick and Petit to follow, as Baker's been handed a lot of run support. Scott Baker is one of just 9 major league pitchers this year who has at least 25 innings as a starter and 40 as a reliever. In the air, and the first baseman backpedals. Ryan Rua. The foul territory for the catch. 1 out. Oberholzer in 4 1/3 innings allowed 9 hits, 7 runs. First time as a big leaguer has allowed as many as 7 runs in a game. Earned runs. Walking 1 and fanning 2. Marisnick bounced into a force play in the second.
This is not overpowering stuff at all from Baker tonight. And I think, quite frankly, you should be able to expect the bats at some point here to get to him.
Yeah. Strike to Marisnick. Rangers have the highest ERA in the American League, 4.71. No balls, 2 strikes. The ERA for their starters is even higher, 5.09. Baker came into this game with a 5.45 ERA for the season. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rangers are tying a major league record tonight with Rua in the lineup for players used in a season, 59. The 2002 Indians did it, as did the 2002 Padres and the 2008 Padres. Three balls, 2 strikes. Padres are having a rough season this year, hitting anyway. Really not that bad in the 1-loss percentage. They're 62 and 70, but boy, they struggle to hit the ball. That's into the seats. 3 balls, 2 strikes. They find their team batting average, but I believe it's in the 220s right now, man.
They're a ball club that has been offensively challenged at times in the years since they've been in Petco Field or Petco Park. Ballpark that definitely favors the pitching side.
They're hitting 226. Struck him out looking. 3rd strikeout for Baker.
Yeah, it looks like pretty much one that's slotted outer third of the plate, maybe, but not sure if Marisnick got caught guessing slider.
They have. Petit struck out in the 3rd inning.
The club has had its ups and downs, and we've talked a lot about since the All-Star break, one of the better scoring teams in baseball, but they've also had a stretch recently where, at least in a number of games, the bats have not been there.
The Astros have hit 209 as a team the last 10 days.
Okay, so Brownie, you mentioned that the Padres are the lowest scoring team in Major League Baseball. And you were talking about the team batting average. They've been very poor in that category as well. 2nd lowest scoring team in Major League Baseball. Might surprise a lot of folks. A team that was great a year ago. St. Louis Cardinals. How about that?
That is very surprising. Ground ball. Backhanded. Beltre throwing for foul territory. And again the 1-hop throw for the 2nd time tonight. Gives him a sparkling play. That's a 1-2-3 5th inning. And Baker and the Rangers continue to lead the Astros 7-1.
And the Astros are proud to partner with youth baseball and softball leagues to offer the Future Astros program. The program's goal is to help encourage every child to participate in a sport and to help generate funds for every youth sports program in Texas. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS or email groupsales@astros.com. I have very excited fans behind me right now, trying to get a ball right there, but it's good to see them. Josh Seid excited to be at the ballpark today around his teammates. He had surgery on that right foot on August 6th, season-ending surgery, and in just a few weeks he'll have surgery on the left foot, but he has to be able to put 100% of his weight on that right foot before they do the second surgery. Very, very tough recovery for Josh Seid, but in good spirits, as even wearing a boot today, a silver boot, guys. Can you believe that?
He was wearing a silver boot?
He was.
That's good stuff. There's Taylor's taking a strike there. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Tomas Taylor. So the switch hitting catcher moves around to the other side of the plate against Buchanan. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI single. Breaking pitch for Buchanan makes it a 2-1 count. Julia, did you hear what the catcher for the Royals has become behind the plate? What he's been doing lately? Salvador Perez. With a high chop to Petit. And Petit throws good arm there. Well, he's wearing women's perfume during games now when he catches.
Really?
Yep.
Do we know what kind?
Yeah, I forgot though. Throw out a few names.
Is it like Victoria's Secret or something?
Yeah, it's Victoria's Secret. That's exactly it. He's wearing Victoria's Secret perfume when he catches. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure the home plate umpire is happy with that.
Well, actually, he's been complimented by the home plate umpire for wearing Victoria's Secret perfume.
And the logic is?
One of his teammates did it. I think it was Lorenzo Cain, and he had a good game.
So, yeah, you got to stick with it then.
Yeah. Yep. So he picked up on it, and he crushed the ball the first time he wore Victoria's Secret. So that's it now, for the rest of the year.
Well, that's a good hit and send. Everybody's known that.
Yeah. 1-ball, 1-strike. So that's a new one.
I bet he's gotten a lot of intriguing comments with the hitters coming to the plate.
Yeah. Singleton can't make the play. And he throws not in time. He tried to scramble for it and throw quickly to Buchanan, who couldn't hold it either. That was a hot shot by Odor, and it's ruled a single.
Well, there was absolutely nothing pretty about this. I thought Big John was going to come up with this cleanly to his right. And he's been getting better and better. It goes right into the pocket and then kicks out. And then everything got really helter-skelter here.
Finally came squirting out of Buchanan's glove. It's 7-1. The Rangers and Astros are playing. In case you're flipping the dial, just joining us. The Astros and Rangers playing game 2 of a 4-game series here, and it's been Rangers 7-10-0. Astros 1-4-0. Bill Brown, Alan Ashby, Julia Morales, and Howard Chen all looking similar to those photos. And,
or at least at one time in our lives.
Yeah. Some facsimile thereof. And we're here in the 6th inning with Michael Choice batting. He's been a major factor tonight with a double and a 3-run homer in this game. A strike one to from Jake Buchanan to Michael Choice. Buchanan was 6-4 at AAA Oklahoma City with a 3.54 ERA. A line shot into left field, and Michael Choice, the number 9 hitter, is 3 for 3. Double, homer, single tonight for Choice.
So he'll be trying to stretch a single into a triple at some point tonight, maybe.
He might.
I had the other version of that down pretty pat, stretching the triple into a single.
Now 2 men on, and it's Robertson batting. Robertson has been on twice tonight with a walk and a single. In that Yankees game at Toronto, Yankees winning at 5-3 in the bottom of the 8th now. There is strike one. Chris Capuano gave Joe Girardi a good start. 6 1/3 innings, 2 earned runs against Mark Burley. Jacoby Ellsbury hit his 14th homer. And Jose Bautista went off for his 27th of the year. Here's the runner advancing to third, and without a throw from Castro. Choice held on at first base with Odor going from second to third on a wild pitch by Buchanan.
Jason had all intention of trying to fire to third, but just a bit off balance.
Double play still in order for Buchanan, who has the good sinker. Buchanan in his last outing 6 days ago at Cleveland drew the loss. The game was tied 2-2 in the 9th inning, and he gave up the game-winning hit to the shortstop Ramirez of the Indians. He had a good relief stint here against Minnesota on August 11th, 3 scoreless innings. He had a game here against Toronto in relief, in which he pitched 5 innings, giving up 3 runs. So he's kind of the Scott Baker of the Astros. Robertson looks at it. 2-1 with Odor. Looks like he's limping at third base there. Michael Choice was 0 for 10 on this Rangers road trip before breaking out tonight with his 3 for 3 game.
Mickey Rivers used to look like that on the bases. Looked like he'd never walk another step the rest of his life, and then he'd take off at world-class speed.
Yeah, Mickey Rivers. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mickey Rivers and the 1976 New York Yankees. They were swept in the World Series by the Reds that year. Pete Rose was playing third base, and because Rivers was such a good butter, Pete Rose came in so close to home plate. I've never seen a third baseman play that close to home plate. He completely got into Mickey Rivers' head, and Rivers would not try to bunt.
Pete was not a great defensive third baseman, but you know, he understood this game.
Bounce to the right side. Altuve over to his left with a flip to Singleton, safe at first, and the run scores, and it's 8-1. That was a 2-hopper, a bouncing ball that was just suspended there. Altuve had to come a long way, and then with a quick flip, didn't quite get it to Singleton in time. It's going to be a Robertson hit, his 2nd of the night, and his 16th run batted in.
Said it earlier in the game. There's something about Robertson, or probably a lot of things about him, that are easy to like if you're just sizing up players. Runs well. He's aggressive. Swings the bat quite well, hitting over 300. And a very aggressive outfielder as well.
He does run hard. Odor scoring run number 8. And the Rangers are up 8-1. They are 5 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Elvis Andrus is the batter. There's ball 1. He has an RBI double, a sac fly, and another fly. Boston is up at Tampa Bay 8-3 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Strike to Andrus makes it 1-1. Mookie Betts hit his 3rd home run of the year. The Red Sox club may be aggressive on the free agent market after the big turnover, dealing away Lester and Lackey. They should have some money to spend. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's an organization that, quite frankly, can't be anything but aggressive, trying to put their team back together again. There's too much at risk for the Red Sox.
There's a swing by Andrus, and he has struck out. 2 outs.
Running that fastball in on the hands. The diving action.
Buchanan now looks in as Rios is going to bat, and Rios is 1 for 3. Braves lead the Marlins 3-2. They're in the bottom of the 7th in Atlanta. Irvin Santana had a good game, 6 innings, 1 run before leaving. Justin Upton hit his 26th. Castro came up. Here's ball 1. Took a look at the runner off second choice. Tom Kohler got the start for Miami tonight, giving up 2 runs in 6 innings. Rodani Valdespin with a home run. That Miami club is hanging. One ball, 1 strike. Marlins are 2 games under 500 now. So they're really not in the race. They were. So they are 5.5 back of the second wild card spot. That's really not considered in the race, is it?
I think you'd have to say injuries are the biggest factor in determining what clubs have a chance at the end of the year to win a division. Miami, if they'd had Jose Fernandez all season long, might have had a good shot.
Might have.
How about the Mets with Harvey?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Harvey. Runners go. Whoops. They've got a hang up here on the bases. Castro throws to first, and they get him. Robertson went too far, anticipating that the runner at second choice might go to third, but he didn't. So Robertson couldn't get back, and he's gone down from 2 to 3. 1 run, 3 hits, and a man left. Rangers lead it 8-1.
Now tomorrow's pitching matchup brought to you by Chevron. Care for your car. For the Rangers, right-hander Miles Michaelis. He's just 2-5 with a 6.5 ERA. The Astros should be able to swing the bats there, but he does have a very good arm. Scott Feldman goes to the mound, pitching very good baseball in recent starts. His last 3 against the Texas Rangers now, 1-0 with a 3.44. Scott Feldman, 7-10 record. But again, recently pitching very solid for the Astros.
Scott Baker with an 8-1 lead moves to inning number 6, facing the top of the lineup. Marwin Gonzalez puts one in the air to right field. Rios is coming in for it, calling off Odor. 1 pitch, 1 out here. Marwin had gone 2 for 2 before that. Jose Altuve is the batter. He's 0 for 2. Month of September will be coming up. The Astros are off on Monday, September 1st. They'll be meeting the Angels on the 2nd and 3rd here, and 7-10 starts to round out this homestand. And it's going to be a very unusual month in a lot of ways. One being the batting championship with Jose Altuve. Another being the home run title. Chris Carter right there in the race, 1 off the lead. You have to go back a few years to find a year when an Astro was in the mix for a batting title and another Astro home run title. There's a looping single to left. Altuve getting his 183rd hit.
What he's done here recently is he's getting that one hit a game. And that's in what I view as a scuffle for Jose. And I would imagine the way he's gone over the course of the year, he's going to get hot here pretty soon. And when he gets hot, he's 2 and 3 a night.
Love that sign that Fan had made up. He has a 15-hit lead over the second place man in the hit race in the American League. I think that's Melky Cabrera. We'll check. Chris Carter with a shot on the ground. Beltre to second. Odor to first. 5-4-3 double play. It's a 4-pitch inning, and after 6, it's 8-1 Rangers.
We look back to that drive earlier in the ball game with Marisnick and Fowler coming together. You can see Marisnick calling. Dexter Fowler was also calling, as you can see right there. And they may have been canceling each other out. When it's all said and done, Marisnick makes a heck of a catch, and Fowler takes a heck of a blow into the nose area. He's been able to stay on and play, but both guys going hard for the baseball.
Now as they're in position for inning number 7, it's 8-1 Rangers. Alex Rios was at the plate when the pitch was in the dirt. And on that play, Robertson was thrown out trying to get back to first because Choice did not advance to third. So a fresh count for Rios, and it's strike 1. Detroit is leading at Chicago now 7-1 after 5. Justin Verlander in control. Swing by Rios makes it 0-2. You know, with Verlander struggling so much this year with a high ERA, some people are speculating that when the Tigers get deep into the season and into the playoffs, he may become their closer. 1-2.
That could make some sense for them.
Yeah.
By the way, it is Melky Cabrera, second in the hits race, and way back of Altuve.
A little early for people to really get into that kind of a batting race, but
I love it.
Yeah,
I love watching Altuve go after it.
It's going to be an interesting month ahead. That's a shot. Altuve backhanding, throwing from the grass, high throw, and he uncorks it into the Astros dugout. So that'll be a throwing error on Altuve, and that will get Rios to second base. 9th error of the year for Altuve.
Not sure what happened. Jose took his time, didn't rush the play, plants, throws, and launches.
2-base error by Altuve. Beltre gets the RBI opportunity. Beltre 2 for 3 tonight. He's brought his average up to 327 now, 2 points from where it started the night. That's ball one.
Wow. Well, that's a pretty good looking pitch. I just don't know. You set up in there and maybe in off that inside corner.
Yeah.
Certainly not low.
2 balls, no strikes to Adrian Beltre. Began his career in the Dodger organization. Or has he had some monster years? Back in 04 as a Dodger, he hit .334, 48 homers, 121 runs batted in.
Yeah, if you're caught off guard about the Adrian Beltre talk and what an outstanding player he's been and Hall of Fame and all that, take a look at his year-by-year numbers. He has been spectacular. And then consider tonight defensively the plays he has made. And the guy is off the charts good at third base.
Big cut there. 2-2. He'll do that with fewer than 2 strikes in the count, but then he'll cut down on his swing with 2 strikes, and that is very rare in today's game for a power hitter.
Incidentally, Brownie, Altuve with the base hit, hitting .332.
Okay.
And Beltre with his 2 hits, .327.
Pitch is inside, and we'll check Victor Martinez here with Detroit. He is right now at .327. He's 1 for 3 tonight. So 3 players within 5 points of each other. So Beltre, we mentioned in 04 he hit .334. He's had 2 other seasons with .321 batting averages. This is not an aberration for him to be in the batting race. .282 was his career average coming into this year. He grounds Allen foul, even though he's discounting his chances to win the batting title, saying, "Oh no, I just hope to be close to the other 2 guys. One of them will win it."
Oh gosh, gee, golly, and all that sort of thing.
But the way he hits, that would not be too strange, would it? If he
not a bit.
Batting title.
No, he wouldn't surprise me a bit. He's a guy that's finished 2nd and 3rd in MVP races.
This time it's a walk for Beltre. First for Buchanan tonight. Second for Astros pitchers. Ryan Rua is 0 for 3. Brad Ausmus with the Tigers leading the White Sox 7-1. Has a chance to get his club a little bit closer to Kansas City. The Royals are being shut out at home after 6 by Cleveland, 4-0. Detroit trailing Kansas City by a game and a half, 1 game back in the loss column in the AL Central. It's now raining in Kansas City. They're in a delay. Strike to Rua. Well, the Kansas City fans were called out a couple of nights ago by manager Ned Yost for not showing up in a pennant race. But then he loved the energy in the ballpark last night. Line to right field. Marisnik in to play it. Stop sign at third. Rio stopping there with the bases loaded now and nobody out. First major league hit for Ryan Rua. And the ball will be thrown into the Ranger dugout.
Pretty execution going the other way. Young man looks like he can swing it.
Our attendance tonight is 18,931. Adam Rosales has this bases loaded opportunity. Nobody currently pitching in the Astros bullpen. Rosales is 1 for 3. On the curve, it's a check swing call, and it's ball 1 to Rosales.
That went a pretty good distance.
Yes, it did. We heard that the Houston Dynamo was in Kansas City earlier and had a lightning delay in their soccer game. But they're back at it. Shot on the ground, on through into center field, scoring Rios. Here's Beltre coming to the plate. And that's going to be a 2-run single, making it 10-1 Rangers. Rosales drives in a couple, giving him 15 runs batted in.
Some nights it's just not there. And seems to be the case for the Astros tonight. For the Rangers, oppo story. But the inning starts with that E4. Very unusual for Altuve.
Brent Strom out to the mound. Nobody warming up. And in a situation like this, a 9-run lead, it appears the Astros just want to try to prop up Jake Buchanan a little bit, let him know that he's still their guy, and he's going to have to stick it out for a few more outs.
Like it or not, you're still our guy. Challenging times when you're having a tough time getting hitters out.
Taylor is next. He's 1 for 3 with an RBI in the 4th inning. Cubs and Cardinals are tied 2-2. They're in the 8th inning. Bounced off the plate. Here's Marwin coming after it, and a quick throw to first gets him. 1 out. Lua to third. Rosales to second.
You know, Brownie, you were talking about Kansas City and their fans and maybe expectations of trying to get fans out as you watch this play. And Marwin just continues to play a nice, steady, solid, sometimes even spectacular shortstop. The last time the Kansas City Royals finished higher than third was 1989. So it's been a long time those fans have been left without a good team.
I bet it has. Their first baseman, Eric Hosmer, who's been out for weeks, is now on a minor league rehab assignment, and he could be back for them in a few days. Rougned Odor is 1 for 3. Pokes that one foul for strike 1. Hosmer could make a difference for that club. Rangers have 14 hits in this game. Their season high is 18. They've done that 3 times. That Kansas City, Detroit, and in fact Cleveland race. Indians 5.5 back will be something to follow. There's a shot deep to right field. 3-run homer. Jumps out of the park for Odor. That's number 7 for him. And it's 13-1 Texas.
Dam is split open here for Buchanan. He just leaves one up, and Rougned Odor treats it rather roughly.
The Rangers get their second 3-run homer of this game. Choice hit one in the 4th inning. And now a 15-hit Ranger attack has them sailing along 13-1. Ball 1 to Choice. Choice a triple shy of the cycle now. He fouls it back, and it's a 1-ball-1-strike count.
Time for the Mako big hit of the game. See if we can squeeze a little offense in for the Texas Rangers. Yeah, Michael Choice launched one way up on the tracks. 3-run bomb earlier in the ball game that Brownie just referred to. Michael Choice had what was a very big swing for the Rangers at that point. That came in the 4th.
1 ball, 2 strikes. He fouls that one. Big night for the number 9 hitter of the Rangers. He's the first Ranger with 3 hits in this game. Rangers have out-hit the Astros tonight 15-5. Rangers are next to last in long balls in the American League. Breaking pitch in the dirt makes it a 2-ball, 2-strike count. In fact, the 94 homers they had hit through 133 games coming into tonight their lowest home run total to this point of a season since 1990.
Watching them swing the bats tonight, that's hard to believe.
Foul back, and they had scored 527 runs before this game. That's 8 fewer than the Astros had. And that's the fewest runs they had scored through 133 games since 1988. A long year in Arlington with a 52-81 record. 4 straight 90-win seasons preceding this one. That's a strikeout for Buchanan. Number 2 for Jake. Last year they finished 91-72.
Really nothing cute there. Just slips it by a guy taking a big swing.
Now it's Robertson. He's been on 3 times in 4 trips. 2 singles and a walk for Robertson. Also an RBI. This will be the 50th pitch of the game for Buchanan. And it is strike 1. Robertson's the 8th Ranger to bat here in the 7th. Rockies and Diamondbacks are tied 0-0. They're in the top of the 4th at Arizona. In the dirt for a 1-ball 1-strike count, and in Anaheim it's 0-0. The Athletics and the Angels, top of the 2nd inning. Lester versus Weaver. It's a dandy matchup. Josh Hamilton hit a double in the Angels' first. He has gotten hot. He can make a huge difference in this AL West race. 2 balls and a strike with Mike Fultonevich warming up for Houston. Bounce to the left side. Marlon Gonzalez unloads. Strong throw for the out. And it's 13-1 Rangers.
It's 13-1 in the bottom of the 7th. And the Astros, well, they've shown a lot of improvement this season. They could win at least 20 more games than they did last season, which would be pretty impressive. We asked you all on Twitter for your predictions as far as the Astros' final record. Cameron P. Davis tweeted 71-91. Astros have been on a near 500 pace for what seems like forever now. Beham2421 tweeted 70-92. September call-ups will help the club down the stretch. Thank you very much for tuning in at Ho Chen CSN. Guys, over to you.
Thank you, Howard. Fans enjoying the 7th inning stretch. Meanwhile, we get a pinch hitter for Dexter Fowler leading off the home 7th inning. Dexter leaving the game after going 2 for 2 with an RBI. And he had that collision with Jake Marisnick early in the game. So perhaps that's the reason he's now leaving for the pinch hitter, Jesus Guzman. It is ball 1 to Guzman. Jesus this season has had 150 at-bats with a 193 average. 2 homers, 8 runs batted in. He's 1 for 14 pinch hit. There's ball 1. Of course, American League clubs don't pinch hit nearly as much as National League teams. So that's part of it. The Astros have had 59 at-bats as pinch hitters with 7 hits, but still hard to explain a 119 pinch hit batting average. Fly ball hangs up for the right fielder, and Rios moves over for it. That's 1 out. We go to Julio Morales.
Thank you, Brownie. 2015 Astros season tickets are on sale right now. Enjoy some of the best seats at Minute Maid Park. Get the best value and receive great benefits throughout the season. Call 1-877-9-ASTROS now to reserve your seats.
Julia, you probably already checked this out, but Oklahoma City is playing in Iowa, and the Red Hawks lead it 3-0 in the bottom of the 4th, but they're in a rain delay now.
Oh, no. There's a lot of rain going on throughout the country.
What is happening this entire summer? We've seen more rain than we have for years.
It's true. You said you didn't see the rain in Houston today.
No, we didn't get any.
Wow, it came down. It came down pretty hard in the downtown area about 1 o'clock.
Jason Castro, the batter. There's ball 1. Well, of course, that tells us how early you get to work.
Yeah, you slackers up there.
You really are.
Julia woke up to the rain today. Brownie, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Remember that song, Who'll Stop the Rain, Ash, many years ago?
Sure, Creedence Clearwater.
Yeah, CCR. Well, we haven't exactly come to that point of singing that around here, but we need some.
Well, yeah, out our way. I know that we're in big time need. Seems like every time I drive in, somewhere around 10, Highway 10, and toward the ballpark, it'll be raining.
Not out there where you live. Castro looks at it, 2-1. Anyway, Julio, it's 3-0 Oklahoma City. Nick Tropiano on the mound with a very good game underway, but now he's got that rain delay to deal with as the Red Hawks try to clinch a playoff spot in the PCL.
I was going to ask about that. I know they're in the hunt there.
Yeah, I think their magic number's 3 now.
There's not that many games left.
No, this is the final weekend of the season coming up. 3 balls and a strike, so good things could be coming soon. This is their final series of the year, a 4-game set in Iowa. They are currently a game and a half ahead of the Omaha Storm Chasers, leading the PCL American North Division. The winner of the division advances to the playoffs and will play the winner of the PCL American South Division. Now, Omaha has 4 remaining games against Colorado Springs. That's the last place team. So Oklahoma City with a 74-66 record, hoping to nail things down with Tony DeFrancesco at the helm. And they've gotten hot at the right time here toward the end of the year for the Red Hawks. High shot to right field. Castro has hit another one. Last night it's a grand slam. Here a solo shot, number 14 for Castro. 2 homers in 2 games for Jason. That's 51 runs batted in.
Jason got a pretty good curveball right here. It appeared to be down at or below the knees. Just weighted back with the hands beautifully. He's starting to swing the bat well. It's a sight you could grow accustomed to. Yeah, maybe it wasn't below the knees. Either way, Jason stayed right on it and drives it out and disrupted the night.
Yes, it did.
For a couple of fans.
That created a lot of havoc out there. Stuff flying through the air on that Castro home run ball. And then the guy missed the ball. He lost all of his earthly possessions and didn't get the ball either. Lefty Alex Claudio coming in with the score, 13-2 Rangers in the morning. And Scott Baker's had quite a time of it tonight, trying to be the winning pitcher in this game. He got a lot of run support early. He survived an RBI single by Fowler in the first inning. And he's been able to just concentrate on throwing strikes after the Rangers piled up the early lead for him. Got the double play ball there on Carter's ball in the 6th inning. Started by Beltre. Beltre's made a couple of fine plays for him as well. So good numbers for Scott Baker. 93 pitches, 6 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and he could be 3-3 by the end of the night.
And now it's 22-year-old Puerto Rican-born left-hander Alexander Claudio. And for Claudio, just in his 7th major league game, first year in the big leagues, about only 3 hits in 5 innings.
Here's strike 1 to Mark Krause. He's 0 for 1 with a walk.
So he's yet to pick up the joy of allowing a major league earned run.
Oh boy,
need to treat him here this evening.
Well, he has a Bugs Bunny changeup. Ash.
Wow, now that's good. Who dropped that one on you?
And there's a slider. The Hall of Famer Eric Nadel.
Did he? Bugs Bunny changeup. Now, I could take that either direction because I never actually saw Bugs have a good pitching year.
Well, he was 14-2 back in 1904.
Well, he had that anvil hammer working for him, I think.
He had the hitters looking at his ears all the time. It's tough to hit when a guy's got ears that long.
The Acme anvil. Where'd it go? There it is. Where?
We found it. Or did we?
I don't know.
Well, it was here. Up the middle and on through into center field. Krause stayed back and collected a single.
Well, that was Bugs delivering the changeup right there, and it got racked into center.
Claudio was the minor league reliever of the year in 2013 for the Rangers. He started this year in Double-A, then he went to Triple-A.
That's the change. You could actually see part of why Bugs got rated so highly on his change, because that arm was coming through very nicely.
Yeah.
But Mark Krause was just a little better.
Singleton's 0 for 2. He gets a strike. Claudio is 6'3". Lefty on lefty here. He may break out that slider again. Marisnick's on deck. Very herky-jerky guy here at this part to try to distract the hitter. 0-2.
Yeah, this looks like it might be tough for a left-hand hitter. Now, John Singleton has been much better against left-hand pitching this year.
Takes that one. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count for John Singleton. Claudio was born in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Ever been there, Ash?
I have, yes. Had a chance. Don't know if you were part of the team. I think you were when the club went in spring training wise into Puerto Rico.
Oh yeah. Struck him out looking.
Club's done the Dominican Republic.
Yeah,
Mexico City, Venezuela.
Yeah. What's next for us? China?
I don't know. That let's just not do the. Well, I don't know. Would you like to do the Australian thing to open the year?
If we could stay there for 2.5 weeks, yes.
Yeah, that would be good. And bring families.
People have said don't go to Australia or New Zealand unless you can stay 2 weeks.
I need 2 weeks then.
Jake Marisnick is 0 for 2. Too much jet lag to deal with. We could talk to the Dodgers in Arizona about that, right?
Well, the Dodgers have wound up in first place. It hasn't worked out so well for the Diamondbacks this year.
Well, if that's what it takes to wind up in first place, let's go to Australia.
Of course, I think Clayton Kershaw wound up on the DL at some point there. I don't know that it would have been any different otherwise.
He seems to have pretty good numbers right now.
It's worked out. Here, Bugs at it again with that changeup. Watch him deliver this changeup, or at least Marisnick trying to reach and find that pitch. So Nadell wants to be a scout, huh?
He probably would like that. He's done everything else.
There it is.
Looping fly ball. Looks like a hit to right field. It is dunking in for Marisnick, and Krause goes first to third on the single. Marisnick has had something of a magic wand at times since putting on an Astros uniform.
That he has. He's had infield hits. He's had a big game winner that he dunked just like this one down the right field side for a double in Boston. And so he's picked up some cheapies. But to be fair to Jake, he's also hit some line drive sprouts.
Well, the good thing is he makes contact on that one and reaches to create a first and third situation for Petit. Petit is 0 for 2. He takes ball 1. Boy, that does seem like a long time ago that the Dodgers in Arizona were opening in Australia, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Feels like last year.
Rolled up the first base line, foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Talking with Craig Biggio tonight about this time of year for position player and what Jose Altuve and the guys who have been grinding it all year, playing just about every game, have gone through. And how those guys are tired, man. They're just, but in a pennant race, players do not afford themselves a day off here and there. They feel they need to play. Different situation certainly for the Astros this year, but Altuve is growing into that mentality anyway.
Gregorio Petit has had better swings than this in the big leagues.
He would quickly agree with you.
If he didn't, I'd send him down quickly.
But, Beltre's done that tonight a few times, too. It's only strike 2. You don't want to swing like that on strike 3.
Well, if you have ruthless teammates, you don't want to swing like that ever. And I've never known a teammate that wasn't capable of being ruthless. There's the changeup grip. Pre-gripped.
Struck him out. And in the 7th inning, the Astros get a Castro home run. Leave 2 men on. It's 13-2.
We can take a peek. Preston Tucker. That name, you can go way back in the season. Corpus Christi played a game right here in Houston, and Tucker had a couple of home runs here at Minute Maid Park. He's gone on and had a very solid season. 7 dingers after being called up to Oak City, 51 ribbies. There's a guy, an outfielder, you're going to hear more about. Joe Sclafani, infielder. Also, take a look at those numbers. 341, 427 on-base percentage. So just more and more of the guys on the minor league level put together good seasons.
Jesus Guzman stays in to play left field. Jake Marisnick moves over to center field. And Mark Krause has moved to right field. Mike Foltynewicz is the pitcher. He's pitcher number 3 for Bo Porter tonight. It's 13-2. The Rangers lead it. They've banged out 15 hits. And we go to the 8th inning with Elvis Andrus, the batter. That's a 97-mile-per-hour heater, and it's ball 1. Andrus has 2 runs batted in tonight. He has a double and a sac fly. Folty with a 5.59 ERA. Giving up 14 hits in 9 2/3 innings. He misses inside with that one. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. 13-15-0 for the Rangers to 8-1 for the Astros. Now it's 3-0. Jesus Montero of the Seattle Mariners organization is finished for the year after reportedly fighting with the scout from the organization in the stands at a game. 3-1. Bizarre episode
during a game.
Yep.
Wow.
According to reports anyway. And that's a walk to Andrus. Montero, who's been up with the big league club, was in the minor leagues this year, and then he was sent down lower to a rehab assignment with a Class A club, and got into it with a scout for the Mariners. A heated confrontation in the stands in Boise, Idaho. And General Manager Jack Zarensic said the actions of Montero and the cross-checker, the scout, were unacceptable and embarrassing to the club.
Yeah, Boise's one of those cities that tends to bring out the temper, so
is that what happens?
Might want to reflect on that one.
Alex Rios, the batter. Rios has a double, and he's reached on an error. He's scored 2 runs tonight.
Arguing with and fighting with the scout.
Yeah. Well, according to a report on MILB.com, which is a minor league baseball website, Montero was coaching first base, and the cross-checker yelled at him to hustle off the field at the conclusion of an inning, and he didn't do it. So the scout, according to this report, then ordered an ice cream sandwich and had it sent to Montero in the dugout.
Oh, some lines were definitely crossed there.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Montero reported about 40 pounds overweight to spring training this year, and he did not appreciate that gesture. So he approached the stands with a baseball bat, screaming profanities, and threw the ice cream sandwich at the cross-checker. 1-2.
Well, with a little hot fudge, I'd go for that.
That might make it a little different.
You can leave the bat behind, but
yeah. Down ball. Marwin, good pickup. A step on second, to throw to first for a 6-3 double play. Slick for Marwin Gonzalez.
You know, Marwin could have laid back on this ball and fed on to Altuve, but I really like the way he approaches this, and so many of the plays that he's had presented to him. Just take it yourself.
Two outs done nicely by Marwin. Adrian Beltre comes up. And the batting race is brought into your living room or wherever you're watching, with this .327 average, moving him closer to Altuve. There's ball 1. Beltre with 2 hits tonight has driven in a run. He also has a walk, so he has inched a couple of points closer to Altuve, it appears. Broken bat looper, and this one into shallow center. Marisnick gets there. He robs Beltre of a hit. And in the 8th inning, it's no runs, no hits, nobody left. It is 13-2 Texas.
promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game tonight. It is Craig Bellagio. You guys are getting real creative on Twitter. Nice picture there. Tweet your photo to hashtag CSNH fan photo for a chance to be shown in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Guys.
So let's get this straight now, Julia. We have Craig Bellagio and Jeff Blogwell,
That's
right?
right. Yes.
All right.
It could happen, Brownie.
It could. It could.
Hey guys, Oklahoma City back in action.
Okay, tell us.
Why, they just got started again, so
Okay.
it's good news.
That is good
They
news.
get the game in tonight.
Oh, yeah. Don't you hate those long nights in late August at the ballpark?
Ooh.
Oh. Now Marwin Gonzalez takes a look at it. It's ball one to the switch hitting shortstop, who is 2 for 3 tonight. He's had a good evening, except for being thrown out trying to steal third with 1 out in the inning. But he's made some good plays at shortstop. Bounced to second base there. Odor on to first. 1 down for Alex Claudio. And he took over after Baker went 6 1/3. For the Astros, Jake Buchanan pitched 2 2/3 tonight. He allowed 6 hits and 6 runs, 5 of them earned. Walking 1 and fanning 2. And Scott Feldman, who's pitched for both of these two teams, will dial it up tomorrow night against Miles Michaelis. Now here's Altuve, 1 for 3 for Jose tonight, and a current .332 batting average. Ground ball and on into left field. He gets hit number 2 of the evening. And Altuve now has 184 base hits, and this guy is right on it.
Okay, so I said when Altuve gets hot, which he hasn't been recently, he gets his 2 and 3 hits a ball game. And maybe this is the kickstart to getting hot now for Jose. It's still a long grind to go to the end of the season, but he's got a nice lead, at least in terms of hits, as he heads to the final 5 weeks.
Creeping up on Craig Biggio's club record of 210, set in 1998. Chris Carter's 0 for 3.
I guess it's almost down to 4 weeks, isn't it?
Yep. It's down to 26 games remaining after this one.
Following tonight, that's right.
Okay, so Biggio had a 2-hit game in Cleveland, your final game there, Ash. And that's the only one he's had before tonight since the 17th of this month. And he had 4 hits at Boston, including that grand slam.
That's right. That was the big game in Boston. And from that point, it kind of tapered off. But he gets his hit a night, and that's what saves things.
It's 3-0, and that's what Adrian Beltre said tonight before the game. He said, well, he's got that speed, and he makes contact. And Altuve has struck out just 45 times this year.
Yeah, Altuve had a bid at a 3rd hit on the night back in the 1st inning, but that chopper down the 3rd base line at the bag at 3rd, handled and made to look rather routine by Beltre, a play that I would contend most 3rd basemen would struggle to get Jose going down the line on.
You'd have agreement. Howard Chen would even agree with you on that.
Howard, he knows his stuff, so if he agrees, it's right.
Chris Carter draws a 4-pitch walk. Tim Bogar there on the right, former Astros shortstop, the bench coach for Ron Washington. Checking something. As Mike Maddox, another former Astro, the pitching coach, goes to the mound.
Don't you think Bogey's got to be a major league manager at some point?
Should be. He's put in his time in the minor leagues as the skipper and as a major league coach. Lefty Neil Kotz is warming up in the bullpen. What's going on? Yadier Molina is activated for the Cardinals tonight. Matt Shoemaker has won 13 games this year for the Angels. That might sneak up on you, but he's been 5-1 with a 1.57 ERA this month. Alex Gordon hitting .305 with 8 bombs this month. Jay Bruce struck out 5 times last night, and the Cubs battery allowed 6 stolen bases to the Reds.
You know what? Glancing around at MVP candidates in the American League over the past week, I basically came upon best player for me as opposed to what a lot of people think. And Jose Abreu, I think, has been the best player for the White Sox. Bad team. But Alex Gordon, if you're talking about a guy that's impacted his team in a positive way, Alex Gordon is a guy you might consider.
Okay.
I don't know if he's going to garner a top 3 type votes in terms of the MVP this year, but he's a great left fielder, and he's put together a very good year in KC.
It's a thought. Guzman fouls it. 0-2.
You see a pitcher slipping in that direction?
Maybe. Let's see. You got Abreu, Nelson Cruz, Josh Donaldson, Mike Trout. Who else?
You know, Mike Trout's really started to rebound again. He went down to 285, but you factor in the home runs and the RBIs, he's going to be in there. Nelson Cruz is going to get a lot of attention. Here's my only argument against Nelson Cruz with Baltimore is that Adam Jones might be their best player. And so it detracts a little bit from Nelson Cruz for me.
Good point. On into center field. And here's the go-ahead for Altuve to score run number 3 on the RBI single by Guzman. 13-3 now. Altuve scoring for the 73rd time.
Well, you generally say keep pecking away. A little late for that. The Astros need a couple of big innings.
Guzman picks up his 9th run batted in. Jason Castro homered in the 7th inning. He's 1 for 3. For Cy Young candidates, how about Clayton Kershaw in Los Angeles in the National League? 16 wins to lead the NL and a 1.73 ERA.
I think he's a given in the National unless things implode on him.
Giants lead the Brewers tonight 3-1. They're in the top of the 2nd at San Francisco with Ryan Vogelsong pitching against Willie Peralta. 2-0. Hunter Pence has driven in his 60th run of the year.
You know who's putting together a big year offensively that is not going to get any run in terms of MVP, and his team's been horrible? David Ortiz, Big Papi with the Red Sox.
Yeah, very nice year. He has another year on his contract, doesn't he?
I believe so. One more.
You know what the top batting average is in the National League?
Justin Morneau.
Yep.
Started play today, 313. I'm not even sure. ESPN sometimes will adjust these during the course of the ball game.
I think he was 314 before, but no big deal. You get the point. Fly ball left field toward the line for Choice. Choice will not get to it. But the LSU folks got that one.
They're making some play.
And the Bayou Bengals all over this one.
You know what? It's nice to be a young boy and have a sister who can make the play and get you the baseball, isn't it? Look at this.
That's embarrassing.
That is really good. You can have the ball back. I'm going to get me one on my own.
Whoa, the bat takes off as Castro swings and misses, striking out for out number 2.
As I said a little earlier, I could see where Claudio could make life really tough on left-hand hitters. That drop-down sweeping slider, a good example. Yeah, but considering that Castro really didn't get behind this toss, that was pretty well done.
Mark Krause has a walk and a single tonight. Foul ball for Krause. Dodgers 1, Padres 1. They're in the bottom of the 3rd at San Diego. Dan Herron going for the Dodgers against Andrew Cashner. Padres evidently have hit a snag on their attempts to name a plaza outside the stadium for Commissioner Bud Selig. Getting a lot of pushback from the Padre fans on that one.
The Bud Plaza?
Well, I don't know exactly what it's called. That's probably not it, but I'm guessing it's a Bud Selig Plaza. But whatever. That one hit the chest protector of David Ratcliffe.
I still like the Bud Plaza.
Okay. Not to speak for the San Diego fans, but presumably they would rather have a name for one of their personnel.
By the way, this could be the year of the smallish ball player. Josh Harrison of the Pittsburgh Pirates is second in the National League in hitting. He's 5'8". Jose Altuve maybe winning the American.
Wouldn't that be fun? 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's been said for decades and decades. Doesn't matter size in this game, and I don't know a year where I've seen that bore out more extremely than it has this year.
Oh, it's an interesting thought.
Freddie Patek coming back. Suggestion comes our way.
Freddie Patek. Foul ball that was drilled over toward the Astros dugout.
Speak of guys that are height challenged a bit. Done a nice job to maybe earn a shot next year.
Yes, he has. Rip foul again. T. Brock fielded that one impeccably. George Springer does not want any more balls drilled his direction. George has been taking batting practice. Alex Presley hit on the field today.
Are we getting any indications as to whether George may be coming back here in September?
Nothing concrete. It seems that it will be happening. Krause takes strike 3, and that ends the 8th inning with 1 run scoring on 2 hits, 2 men left, 13-3 Rangers. Sportsnet is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Slotomania. Play Slotomania and escape anywhere. Text GAME to 555-888 or download for free in your local app store. Free attracts a lot of attention.
It does.
You know the old saying, Ash, free is me.
Well, I'm not big into the free baseball, the 17, 18 innings kind of thing.
But that, yeah. That's bonus baseball. We have bonus coverage, but not tonight. It's 13-3. We go to the 9th inning. Ryan Rua takes strike 1. He got his first major league hit in the 7th inning. He's 1 for 4. Mike Fultonevich beginning his 2nd inning.
I suggest a home run derby between the two clubs once you are tied after 9.
Bouncer to Marwin Gonzalez. 1 out. Okay.
Send your own pitcher, anybody you want, to the mound. While the other team is out there defensively, it doesn't matter because it's home run derby.
Yeah.
Send your own pitcher to the mound. You get 3 pitches for any hitter from your lineup you want, and let him go to launching. Not 3 swings, but 3 pitches. Make it happen, boys.
Foltynewicz has 4 outs in this game. Rosales is next up. Rosales is 2 for 4 with 2 runs batted in on a single. He rips one. Diving Petit. Got a glove on it. Couldn't hold it. Sharp single for Rosales, his 3rd hit of the night. Petit really made the effort.
Adam Rosales is a guy that's bounced around. As you talked about with major league teams, he hasn't had a whole lot of offensive success to this point. But, boy, he's swinging the bat very well as he's hitting over 300 for Texas.
That was a cannon shot. Teed laid out for it, but Rosales is at first with 1 out for Taylors, who's 1 for 4 with an RBI. Red Sox beat the Rays in St. Petersburg 8-4. Anthony Renato the winner. Beat Chris Archer. And there's strike 1. Mookie Betts homered for Boston, his 3rd of the year, and Brandon Guyer hit 1 for Tampa Bay, his 3rd. Yankees down the Blue Jays in Toronto 6-3. Chris Capuano the winner. It's 1-1. Headley hit his 3rd for the Yankees. Mark Burley took the loss. David Robertson got save number 35. Very good year for Robertson. Fly ball left field toward the line. Caught by Guzman. 2 down.
Yeah, any shortcomings the Yankees have had this year can't be laid on the loss of Mariano Rivera. I think only a couple of blown saves for Robertson.
He's done very well. The Orioles knocked off the Twins 9-1, getting a grand slam from Chris Davis. Braves beat the Marlins 5-2 in Atlanta. David Carpenter won that one. Craig Kimbrell got save number 40. Rougned Odor is 2 for 4 tonight, including a 3-run homer. Rangers with a pair of 3-run bombs tonight. Michael Choice hit 1 in the 4th inning. Mets down the Phillies 4-1 in New York. Jacob deGrom winning his 7th of the year. And Henry Mejia got his 20th save. Seattle is trailing Washington in Seattle 3-2 after 3. Worth and Rendon have blasted balls out of the park for the Nationals. They're waltzing right now. Castro had to reach way out to snag that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, we've been getting a glimpse here in recent weeks of that great right arm that Mike Foltynewicz has, but it's clear that he hasn't quite corralled the strike zone yet. This guy could be a big difference maker in the future.
Yes, he could be. 2-2. Not sure at this point if Jeff Luhnow and his staff would project him as a starter next spring or a reliever.
But it's also a very valuable time for Folty to work here in the big leagues and start to get that comfort level that's needed.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
He acknowledged early on being very nervous as he'd step into a major league ball game. It's kind of surprising because he's got a presence about him that you can kind of feel. This guy has got star quality. But you step into the big leagues initially and it's a new challenge.
Pirates beat the Reds 2-1 in Pittsburgh. Jay Hay, Josh Harrison was a big factor in that game. Bouncer first. Singleton backs up to get the hop. Now he tosses to Foltynewicz. And that's the 9th inning for the Rangers. No runs, a hit, and a man left. It's 13-3 going to the bottom of the 9th.
13-3. Labor Day sale. Save 15% and get MLB.com at-bat premium and its features for only $4.99. Follow every Astros game the rest of the season with MLB.com at-bat on your favorite smartphone or tablet. At-bat delivers live Astros baseball wherever you are. Download the #1 app for live Astros baseball on the App Store today. Sale ends soon. Visit Astros.com for complete details. That's soon.
Really soon?
Very soon.
Neil Kotz is warming up. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning with Kotz coming in as pitcher number 3 for Ron Washington. In 61 games, he's 2-7 with a 3.36 ERA.
He's done a nice job on the right-hand hitters. Lefties hitting about the league average against him, but generally some kind of off-speed delivery that will mess up the right-hand hitters with a left-hand pitcher.
He has not pitched in 5 days. He worked a scoreless inning and a hitless inning against Kansas City 5 days ago. Now it's John Singleton facing him. Singleton's 0 for 3. Iowa has scored 3 times in the 5th inning to tie Oklahoma City now 3-3 in the 5th. Ball 1 to Singleton.
Milo was out here tonight with some, I guess, some other Iowa rooters.
Yes, they had some kind of an Iowa night here. And Bo Porter spoke to the group. 1 ball, 1 strike. Was Brett Dolan out here?
Did not see Brett.
There's a Hawkeye function. He usually is there. We're hearing that he was here. 2 balls and a strike. Bo Porter was regaling the group with his Hayden Fry football stories from Iowa. Three and 1. You have heard the stories, of course, about how Hayden Fry recruited Bo Porter, right?
I've heard a number of those stories on Hayden Fry and Bo as a football player, and
good stories. Foul back, and it's 3-2.
I probably let slip the story about the recruitment. Bo was heavily recruited as a football player, was he not?
Yes, and he was. Well, he went to Miami, University of Miami, for a visit. And after about 3 days hanging around the football team, he noticed those guys weren't going to class. So he was not attracted so much to that school. There's a leadoff walk to Singleton because he wanted an education. And Iowa had been scouting him all throughout. You know, he was a 2-sport athlete, football and baseball. He was a defensive back in football. And Iowa had been scouting all of his games. And he had never said anything about being interested in Iowa. But after he got back from Miami and decided not to go there, then Hayden Fry had a visit in his home. And he asked him, "Coach, why are you scouting me?" And he said, "Because you're the guy who's going to help us get to the Rose Bowl." He said, "Me? I'm just one player." He said, "No, you're the guy who's going to take away the other team's top weapon. That's what we need."
Did hear that story.
Line into center field. Marisnik is 2 for 4. And the Astros stir up something here in the bottom of the 9th against Neil Kotz.
Well, there you go. Looked like this was going to get on the hands. And may have just a little cutoff swing right there. Beautifully done. Jake continues to do more with the bat than I think the expectation might have set.
He's been fun to watch. Gregorio Petit is 0 for 3 tonight. He was robbed in the 5th inning by Beltre, one of 2 fine plays Beltre has made. 11 hits for Houston now, 16 for Texas. Broken bat looper in the shallow center field, and that's going to be in for a hit. And the bases are loaded on the single by Petit. Bases loaded, nobody out for Gonzalez, and it means that Altuve will bat again.
Blow up this piece of lumber. Doesn't matter if you can get yourself a knock. Am I sensing a good old-fashioned rally?
You are. You're also sensing an at-bat for Altuve if Gonzalez does not hit into a triple play here. Marwin is 2 for 4. You know, Mike Shannon once predicted a triple play on the air.
How many triple plays did Mike Shannon start in his career?
No idea. He might have started a few. There's ball one. Let's see. Morgan Ensberg started one for the Astros.
Well, if you get that ground ball fairly sharply hit right at the bag at third or within a step, you've got a legit shot.
Fly ball left field. This is headed for a hit, and it bounces off the wall, and it's an extra base hit. 2-run scoring. A 2-run double for Gonzalez on his third hit, and now a third runner comes home as the ball gets away. Petit scores. And it's 13-6 now. But Gonzalez still gets the 2-run double, and then the error allows the third run to score. Gonzalez now has driven in 22. That's his second double of the night, his 12th of the year.
Yeah, Marwin continues to make the most of the opportunity. Pitch right on the hands. He cuts off that swing. Doesn't drill the baseball, but location being everything with this one.
And then the left fielder, Michael Choice, makes an error. Flo gets loose, and Petit comes home. 12th double for Marwin, and it's 13-6 without Altuve batting and popping it up. Beltre in. Well, Altuve's 2 for 5 tonight.
Again, Potts continues to work in there on the right-hand hitters, and I'll just bet you Altuve thought to himself going to the plate, I'm going to get a fastball and drill it, and he starts to wind up and hack, and it comes right in on the hands.
Chris Carter hitless tonight, 0 for 3 with a walk. Neftali Feliz is warming up for the Rangers. There's ball one. Well, that would be the last thing Ron Washington would want to do, use another pitcher in this game. Guzman is on deck. It's 2-0. Astros have won 8 of the last 9 from the Rangers. They are 9-4 against Texas in the season series. 1 win short of claiming the boot. This one out of the mitt of Teles, and the runner advances on that very high pitch. It's a wild pitch for Potts.
Yeah, you can't say that Potts is overly sharp here.
Very ragged game. There's the home run rate atop the leaderboard in the American League. 1 homer for every 12.6 at bats for Carter. 3-1 for Chris. Chase is there, and it's 3-2. During his fabulous run since July 1st, he has cut those chase swings to a minimum. Fly ball to center field, and Robertson comes in. There's the tag, but no advance. 2 outs. And Guzman will bat.
That was right in that no man's land for Marwin. You'd love to get Carter the RBI, but you also don't want to make that last out of the game at the plate right here. And again, that fly ball right there where you just are not certain you can score.
Guzman got a run home in the 8th inning. A single to center field. Diamondbacks lead the Rockies 1-0 there in the top of the 7th with Josh Colmeter pitching for Arizona. Astros on deck here, and there's ball 1. Guzman is the 7th Astro to bat here in the 9th inning. Tomorrow night it's Feldman versus Michaelis at 6:10. There'll be a lot of college football tomorrow, won't there?
I really would think so. It is the opening weekend.
How did the Cougs do tonight?
You know, I didn't see anything on them. Oh, they're down 3 TDs. Kind of same thing the Astros were facing there for a while.
UTSA, University of Texas San Antonio, with a good program, and Larry Coker the coach. Strike, and it's 1-2. It's the brand new football stadium opening up on the University of Houston campus tonight. Beautiful looking stadium.
You been down there?
Nope. Just seen pictures.
No.
How about yourself?
Same story. I hope that really aids the U of H into bigger and better things in terms of the football program. Of course, they've been really good.
Yeah. 21-0 UTSA over U of H, 3rd quarter. Bill Worrell probably in attendance. Fly ball to center field. Robertson comes in for it into right center, and he tracks it for out number 3. The Astros stir up trouble, scoring 3 times on 3 hits. They leave a man. The Rangers even this 4-game series at 1 game apiece. Final score is Texas 13 and Houston 6.